State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is administering these grants. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
WTIC News Times 3:04. Checking traffic as we head for the long weekend this Friday. There is a crash in East Hartford, 84 westbound side between exits 59 and 58. Left lane blocked there due to a two-vehicle crash. On the build eastbound out of the Hartford-West Hartford area from exits 43 to 51 on 84. Also on Waterbury, we've got slow traffic on the east and westbound sides between exits 25 and 20 on the westbound side, 23 and 25A on the eastbound side. Volume delays beginning to build now along the 95 corridor out of Stamford. Looking at slower traffic now between exits 10 and 7. Northbound Milford between 39B and 31. Meteorologist Jason Caterina has the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy. It'll be quite pleasant, the high of 71 to wrap up the week. Then tonight, under clear skies, cool and comfy with the low down to 53. Beautiful start to the weekend for Saturday. It'll be sunny and pleasant, but quite breezy, the high of 73. The west-northwest wind cranking along at 10 to 20 miles an hour, but definitely the better of the two weekend days as Sunday will be notably cooler when damp and raw with occasional rain and drizzle, and the high only 56. Now Monday, a couple of showers in the morning, then a mix of clouds and sunshine for the afternoon. The high 61, but still quite breezy with that northwest wind busy at 10 to 20 miles an hour. That wind continues into Tuesday. It'll be cloudy, the high only 55, making for quite a cool feeling day. Wednesday, still breezy and quite cool with a blend of sun and clouds. The high dialed back to 53. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Sunny and 68 is the temperature right now in Hartford. On Wall Street this afternoon, the markets have been up, and that continues to be the case. The Dow is ahead 389 points, the NASDAQ up 74, and the S&P up 36 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. It's 3:06. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
And what could be better than two of your favorites for $3.99? Like the McDouble, McChicken, or 6-piece McNugget. So stop in for twice the delicious. The price of participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Is your car still under warranty?
1 minute more.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-272-1505. Military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-272-1505. 800-272-1505. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You both think you have some right to life working out the way you want it to, and if it doesn't, you get to act any way you want. Problem with that is someone still has to be responsible. I'd love to run around taking classes and playing with my inner selfness. I'd love the freedom to be a pissed-off criminal without any responsibility, except I don't have the time. You think my life turned out the way I wanted because I live in this house? You think every time I look in the mirror, I shout, gee, I'm glad I'm me, and not some 19-year-old billionaire rock star with the body of an athlete? No, I don't. So just excuse the shit out of me.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. No, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? It's a Friday airing of grievances on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. It's Reese on the Radio on this October the 11th, 2024. Telephone number 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We are hoping that you all get an opportunity to air your grievance, and I've got one to start it off. It happened last night. And I don't ever really let this guy get a rise out of me. He just doesn't. But he is, in my view, and I'm probably the only person who's willing to say it, there are a lot of people who hate this man. I despise him. And I would even go so far, he reminds me of my my best friend here in the state. Christopher Murphy. I love Christopher Murphy. He's my best friend. But I cannot, I just can't. My disdain for this individual and his arrogance is none other for Barack Hussein Obama. Give him a round of applause. Everybody's been talking about him today. And I don't know what they've said about this audio, this captured audio of Barack Obama. People were filming it. Him talking to black folks. In particular, the brothers. The brothers. What I find interesting is that he didn't give this speech out in front of the brothers in public. He did it in a private setting where somebody happened to record him. He should say this stuff on stage. But he wouldn't dare. He wouldn't dare. But he wanted to, in particular, talk to the brothers. And by the way, folks, for those of you who've been listening to the audio all day, I cleaned it up for you so you can hear it. I took all the humming out, right? That's how much I love you. Because I want you to be able to hear what this piece of turd said. And that's what he is. He talks about how it's important that the brothers get out for Kamala Harris. But I'm going to break this down this way. And I want you to think about this. I'm going to set the stage for you. Imagine you run a company and a former employee shows up a couple of years later and chastises you about who you're going to pick as your new employee after you took the suggestion of that employee twice and those employees have failed you. That employee comes back to you and says to you, again, this person worked for you, and comes back to your company and says, hey, I heard y'all going to elect somebody else. Somebody I don't approve of. I got a problem with that. How do you not tell that employee, hey, bub, beat it. Let the door hit you with a good Lord split you. Get up out of here. We listened to you last time. We brought in the people who you wanted. You ran out there and you said, hey, I got somebody I'm endorsing to take over from my position. And they were both garbage. And now you want to come back here because we think we're going to go another way and maybe not take your advice, and then you're going to come here and chastise us?
You going to come in here and tell us how you're disappointed that we want to go another route for our own wealth? You're disappointed? I'd like to say I'm quite disappointed. Y'all going to pick somebody else. This person I don't approve of. Why are you not taking my suggestions? Because it ain't about you. You're gone. Nobody cares what you think anymore. You're an old rap record. That's all you are. You're not the Rolling Stones. You're not Pink Floyd. Hell, you're not Billy Joel. Because when those people come into concert, people flood it. They flood the concerts to go see them. But you, Barack Obama, what happened last night in Pittsburgh? Huh? It was like Young MC in concert. Sure, some people felt nostalgic, but they didn't get the same feeling. Smaller venues. Some people care. Hey, I wanted to bring my kid out to see Young MC. This was somebody I used to dance with back in the 90s. They weren't feeling you. No one's feeling you anymore. Your endorsement means nothing. We'll get into what he said on stage, bragging about an economy that he definitely did not contribute to, taking credit for other people's work. God, the audacity of this guy. You'd think he'd make a book about he'd write a book about audacity. Yeah, that's right, he did. We'll get into all of that, but let's just play the audio. Let's just play it. Here he is, the audacity to chastise his former employers. Barack, please tell us.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhood and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, on one hand, you have somebody who grew up.
No, she didn't. Grew up like you. And what do you mean? You think we all grew up the same, Barack?
No.
That woman don't know me.
Went to college with you.
I didn't go to college.
Understands the struggles.
What struggles?
And pain and joy that comes from those experiences.
That comes from those experiences. So we got to support our kinfolk. He's going to the most basic thing. She lived in your neighborhood. She went to your schools. She was raised like you. She ate the collard greens with you. That's what else he said. There's more of this. It's great.
Makes me think. I'm speaking to men directly. Argument makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman, but and you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for it. The women in our lives have been in our backs the entire time.
That's right. The women in our lives have been getting our backs the entire time. Really? Barack Obama. Really? Yeah, they've been raising us. 74% single-parent households. Yeah.
They're raising up and working and having our backs.
We're not talking about this woman, are we? She has no biological children.
And when we get in trouble, and the system's not working for us, the ones who are out there marching and protesting.
Oh, so when we all end up in jail, they're the ones out there protesting when the system isn't working for us. Negro, please. Come on, everybody say it with me. Negro, please. This guy is laughable. Does he not understand that no one likes Kamala Harris because of Kamala Harris? It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a female. It's the fact that she is a complete and utter phony. That everything about her has been handed to her on a silver platter and she doesn't relate to a soul. These made-up ideas or these made-up stories about Kamala Harris and who she is, she can't even tell herself. The most relatable thing that she can go to is the fact that she grew up in a middle-class household, which we know is untrue. The only time she ever seems to relate to the so-called brothers is when she talks about the nasty, dirty practice of putting collard greens in a bathtub. By the way, where my sisters at? Where are my sister girls at? Please come in here and tell me how many times you put so many collard greens in the bathtub in order to clean them. With the feet and the other body parts that come off. Come on, sisters. You're really trying to tell me this nonsense? That not one black woman heard that and just went, ew. You dirty. Because, sister, you dirty. Kamala Harris makes Hillary Clinton look like Angela Davis on the real. Okay? Let's be honest. At least Hillary Clinton is once removed from the first black president. Her husband, Bubba. Kamala Harris is nowhere relatable to the African-American community, and that's the reason why they're not feeling her. Sad part is they're not feeling Barack Obama anymore either. That's a wrap. You can't do anything for them anymore. Barack, you can't. They owe you nothing. They gave you everything that they could, and now you have nothing to offer. You are a private citizen. And for, if I may say so myself, the fact that this brother would show up in Pittsburgh telling black folks that they need to represent Sister Girl, while this dude, again, this guy, moved his family to Martha's Vineyard, surrounded by wealthy white folks, and bought a $15 million home, telling the brothers how they need to get their act together. I got to tell you, brothers, y'all just ain't representing. Y'all need to be representing. But Barack, don't you live in a white neighborhood? Let's not make it about me. It's about you. You need to represent Sister Girl. This fine, smart representative of the African-American community. Yes, I know she's married to a white man, but that don't mean nothing. Stop it. And I know, listen, I'm saying this directly to the liberals, and I'm saying it directly to the African-American community who listen to this network. Spies, you call yourself. I want you to hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear. Your notions, your commentary about what is and what isn't authentically black are jokes. It's a clown show. Kamala Harris is less black than Rachel Dolezal. Do you understand that? And you know it. This idea that anyone's supposed to elect someone based upon the color of their skin shows exactly how empty your rhetoric is. Nobody's falling for this nonsense. And listen to me, I am predicting that we see at least 45% of African Americans vote for Donald Trump. I want them voting for the felon. I want to see them out in droves. I want to see every one of these people turn around and made to look like fools on November 6th. Because we know what's going to happen immediately afterwards. They're going to start screaming how racist and sexist this country is. I wait for it. I encourage it. You're not going to have a choice, but guess what? It's going to fall on deaf ears. No one's going to fall for that nonsense anymore because it's a joke. Everything you stand for is empty. As Charles Krauthammer once said on Fox News, on Brett Baer's show, this Black Lives Matter and activist class world that we used to live in, your legacy is written in sand. It's written in sand, and it's built on popsicle sticks. And I'm sorry, Barack Obama, but that was the dumbest thing you could have ever done, was allow yourself be filmed chastising black folks while you collect millions of dollars and spend, $1 billion on a library in a town that you should be helping, a town in a city that is supposed to be your second home, but you did nothing to save the lives of those black folks that were getting killed in record numbers. How dare you speak up now, talking about your concern? Now you want to tell black people how they're supposed to behave, how you're disappointed as if they are here to serve you. Your job has always been to serve us. You're our employee, or at least you were. You had your time. And now that time is over. Now I'm going to say something I know that's going to upset, especially those Black Lives Matter people. But if you're wondering, gosh, why does he hate Barack Obama so much? I'll tell you why. It's the same reason why I hate the Yankees. Because of you. Because of you. You put that man on a pedestal. You didn't even know who he was. You didn't know what he believed. You didn't even know what he stood for. The only reason why you ever voted for that man or stood by that man is because of the color of his skin. I used to tell you bozos, when you used to say, I'm voting for Barack because he's black, I'd look you right in your face and say, that's interesting. That's exactly why I'm not voting for him. And you would say, well, Reese, that's racist. Exactly. Because it's racist for you to vote for him because he's black too. And I'm glad the experiment is over. Now let's get back to making this country great again. How about it? Why don't you join us? You can stop complaining. You can finally feed your family. Finally put gas in your car. Your tired rhetoric is old, and it's over. All right? But if you got beef, you know the number, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I'd love to hear from you. It's the airing of Grievance Friday. Where's Reggie? Reggie, come on out here. Come on. We got to take a break. I got more news and more views and more of Barack Hussein Obama when we return, because I got another one. Barack Obama did something that has caused Tom Hanks to come out and ask a question to Barack Obama. Yeah, you know what the question is? Here's the question.
Are you crying? Are you crying? I'm crying.
We'll find out what Barack Obama's crying about when we get back. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. 2 women were injured in a hit-and-run crash in Waterbury last night. Crash occurred around 8 on Walnut Street. Police say one victim is in critical condition with life-threatening injuries, another stable. The driver hit 2 other vehicles before fleeing the scene. A permanent memorial to a pair of fallen Bristol police officers was unveiled at headquarters today. Tomorrow will be 2 years since Lieutenant Dustin DeMonte and Sergeant Alex Hamsey were ambushed and shot to death. Officer Alec Iorato was also wounded in that attack. Today, 2 doors from a police cruiser that served as an outdoor makeshift memorial in the days after the officers' deaths is located inside the lobby. Police trying to figure out how a vehicle wound up submerged in Weathersfield Cove. The gray Honda Pilot was located just after 7 Thursday night. 3 occupants in the vehicle were interviewed by officers, one saying a mechanical issue with the brakes led the vehicle to roll into the water. No injuries were reported, and that incident is under investigation. Governor Lamont today announced $28 million to increase broadband access to 88 towns and cities using money from the Connected Communities grant program. Florida residents repairing the damage caused by Hurricane Milton and cleaning up the debris. The storm ripped through coastal communities, tore homes to shreds, and flooded streets. At least 16 reported dead. WTIC News Time 3:32. Here's Jason Caterina with the forecast.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant, then high 71. Tonight under clear skies, so it'll be cool and comfy with a low of 53. Beautiful start to the weekend. Saturday, sunny. It'll be pleasant, but quite breezy. The high 73. The west-northwest wind busy at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunday, notably cooler with occasional rain and drizzle. A damp and raw day with the high only 56. Couple of showers Monday morning, then clouds and sun for the afternoon. The high of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Checking traffic. Looks like there may be 2 incidents on 84 westbound in East Hartford. Vehicle off in the shoulder between 59 and 58, and 2-vehicle crash in the same location, it appears. 59 and 58, westbound 84 with 2 left lanes blocked. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking great sex, with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. In Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases. And we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Take a moment and think of one thing you really wanted to do recently, but you didn't because your foot, leg, or back pain got in the way. Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Well, you're not alone. We hear it all the time. Folks are fed up with living with pain that's keeping them from doing what they love, and they look to us at the Good Feet store for a solution. And that's why we're here, to help get you back out there. Good Feet arch supports, which you can only get at the Good Feet store, are designed to alleviate and even eliminate foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Plus, they provide improved balance, more comfort, and, well, just a better life. We'd like to help you turn your pain into possibilities with a free fitting at the Good Feet store. You'll be personally fit by an arch support specialist, and you'll get to walk around and see how Good Feet arch supports feel. Then you can decide if they're right for you. For over 30 years, the Good Feet store has been helping people get back to doing the things they love without their feet getting in the way. Stop in today at the Good Feet store in Avon, across from Whole Foods, or visit goodfeet.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Did you know that 9 out of 10
Whoa, a minute.
recommend AAA insurance to a friend?
I'm here.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 people don't even like Philly cheesesteaks. More loved than the most loved sandwich in the city of brotherly love? Does that make us siblings? Well, we do treat our customers like family. Legendary service and superior coverage from AAA Insurance. Something 9 out of 10 people would recommend. Find out why at AAA.com/insurance and get a quote. Based on a 2023 customer survey. Insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange.
The Manchester Road Race is back for the 88th running on Thanksgiving morning. This world-class event that attracts Olympians and families alike is one of the greatest sports traditions in Connecticut. You can register now at manchesterroadrace.com, and please keep in mind that net proceeds from the Manchester to local charities. So if you run or walk but don't register, the charities lose. Please register today at manchesterroadrace.com. See you on Thanksgiving in Manchester.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Hey now, Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC, airing of Grievance Friday. We got the Plan Your Work and Work Your Plan t-shirt in the house. So if you'd like to pick one up, please do. Go to reasoontheradio.com. I'll get to White Mike in a second because I know he's airing of grievances is one of his favorite. But I want to say this. This is this piece that's really great about Barack Obama giving a speech in Pittsburgh was really, really funny. But I want to make sure that I get this out there. So I have this team that I put together. They're like, what is it? The Flying Walinda Brothers? Or the Flying Walinda family. Well, I've come up with my own, and it's called the Crying Negro Brothers. And they have 3 members already, Eddie Glad from MSNBC and 2 from CNN, and they are Bakari Sellers and Van Jones. You might remember how they got those names or be a part of a group.
Well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Tell them the truth matters. Being a good person matters.
Yeah, that's Van Jones on CNN after the election of Joe Biden in 2020. Bakari Sellers, again, he joined just after the death of George Floyd. He should have been a Crying Negro brother early, but he was there. But I didn't know it was going to be like a fad, like it was going to be a thing.
It's just so much pain. You get so tired. We have black children. I have a 15-year-old daughter. I mean, what do I tell her?
I mean, they just cry whenever they can. It was like, this is just something they had to do. to get up on television and start crying. These guys are analysts and reporters, and they get it, they make it about them, and they start crying on live television, which prompted me to have Tom Hanks ask Barack Obama.
Are you crying? Are you crying? I'm crying.
Yeah, but apparently there is, Tom, because Barack did it last night.
It's been one of the most disturbing aspects of this election season about Trump's rise in politics is how we seem to have set aside the values that people like Dan stood for and Bob stood for and that I was taught, and those didn't used to be Republican and Democratic values.
What are they crying about? Is this what it's like to lose? I guess in Democrat politics, you just start crying. It's like you cry, you're like, I can't believe this is happening. Why are you people choosing this guy? It's awful. 860-522-WTIC. White Mike is in Florida, in Tampa in particular. How we doing, buddy?
Hey, man, pretty good. So, gosh, where do I start? What, kind of off topic, but why isn't Gretchen Whitmer making a mockery of the Catholic communion ceremony with a Dorito and a purple-haired lesbian?
What was that? Is that what that was about?
Yeah, dude. It's some pro Kamala Harris ad. I don't know what she was accomplishing, but Gretchen Whitmer was reenacting communion with a Dorito and a purple-haired lesbian.
Yeah, I saw that, and we didn't make the connection. My wife and I saw it, and we saw it, and we're like, what the hell was that? I didn't even make the communion connection. But you're 100% right. That's exactly what that was.
And now I'm not going to cast aspersions as to why Gretchen Whitmer hates the Catholics, but I will say that her middle name is Esther, and both her parents were lawyers. So, Catholic women with the middle name Esther.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Fair enough. And aren't we close to Purim? Now that we think about it.
And I think you're being a bit tough on Barack Obama.
Why?
He does have a little bit of his black bona fides. I mean, he did marry a strong black man. So he does have a little bit of that going for him. He and Big Mike are a solid couple.
Go away. I'm done with you. I'm so done with you. I knew he would bring that up. What's the name? Rama says, how dare we not support the descendant of an Irish slave owner? How dare we? Our good friend Matt is in Bristol. What's going on, Matt?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. Hello, Mr. Hopkins. You there?
Yeah, I'm good, sir.
Hey, how dare White Mike make fun of Michael Obama? Come on. Y'all
are a mess. Leave her alone, okay?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Leave Michael alone. Hey, so I haven't laughed harder at a monologue since Rush Limbaugh pretended to endorse Bill Clinton and everyone got on board. And the next day.
Okay, so you like today's monologue. I'm sorry, he really flummoxed me all the time. I'm flummoxed by Barack Obama. The way that he just shows up like Super Negro and starts telling everybody how to be black.
I wish I was black so I could talk like you.
Well, hey, I'm sorry, but it's annoying. It is annoying to watch this guy do that. And he just chastises people like he's above them. And all the rest of these mind-numb robots just nod along. Yep, I'm like, ugh. Like, have a spine.
He's above them. He's a Martha Vineyard looking down. He is above them.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Okay, so can I get to my grievance?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right. So my wife cheated on me and left me like a couple years ago.
Wow.
And the only spot to meet women nowadays is online.
Okay.
I hate it. I won't do it. I refuse to do it. I refuse to put pictures of myself and make it look like I'm having more fun than I'm actually having. I won't do it. for God's sake, would there be somewhere for people to meet other than online? That's all I'm asking.
There are other places. Unfortunately, some of them you would actually burn alive if you went into, like church. You would actually.
My mother's a pastor, my friend. I go to church.
I'm teasing. Okay, You know what? Here, listen. What's this? Necessity is the mother of invention. So perhaps you should start your own online dating service. Hear me out. Your online dating service, and you call it. And my wife has actually inspired this because if we weren't together, she would tell me to do this myself. We should start one for middle-aged men who don't want to go through the nonsense of dating, and call it curmudgeon.com.
Well,
it's just.
I'd like to. It's not even the going online stuff. It's taking pictures of myself. Like the thought of taking like in front of the mirror, having someone else take a picture.
You know what that is? Let me tell you. See, that's a good thing, Matt. Hear me out. That is actually a good thing that you're revealing about yourself. Now, ladies, listen very closely. He's not obsessed with himself. He doesn't like taking pictures of himself. It's like he doesn't want to draw that kind of attention to himself, right? I got to take a picture. I got to look a certain way. I got to show like I'm having fun. In other words, he doesn't want to be a pretender. So he's a real guy. Women are looking for real men who are not trying to impress. They are who they are. They're comfortable in their own skin. They don't want to pretend. Ladies like that, Matt. That's okay. You know what?
Well, unfortunately, there is no realmen.com dating site. So,
well, you know what? Is one of our sponsors, Roland, is one of our sponsors, do we have It's Just Lunch, the one that's, do we used to have them?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think we do either. Somebody should get on that. That's what those things are actually pretty cool because they're simple and plain, and you don't have to do anything. You just go, you meet. If you don't like anybody, you just move on. You might even just meet a friend. You know, they have all of these great little different ones that are different from the dating sites. But I get you with the dating thing because when I hear a couple is met on Tinder, that always makes me weird. I'm like, Tinder, that's a hookup site.
It makes me cringe.
Yeah, it's like Tinder. That's a hookup place. It's not a dating site.
And then how can you ever trust the girl that you're dating if you met her on a site like that?
Yeah, exactly. It would exactly my point, right? It's like what is it? With like dating a girl who's cheating on her boyfriend and then making her your main squeeze. More than likely, you're going to suffer the same fate.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly. It's a horrible scene out there for single people that don't want to be vacuous. It is a horrible scene.
It is. Well, good luck to you. Don't worry. Listen, I got an idea for you, Matt, and I think I'm going to take it upon myself to at least get you some eligible bachelorettes to see if I can do that. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to see if Reese on the Radio can find love for my good friend Matt in Bristol.
Leave it in your helping hands, my friend.
I appreciate you, big guy.
All right.
Thank you, man. So, if you're out there, ladies, and you're looking for a man who works in the construction field, which means that he's good around the house, contact me at reasoontheradio.com and see if we can get you hooked up with Matt. I'm just saying. Anyway, with all of that, by the way, if you've got an airing of grievance, just give us a call, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We've got a contest coming up in the next break, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Because I want to give something away because there's something very, very interesting that happened during Barack Obama's speech that I want to play for you. This was Nina Turner. Now, Nina Turner is a woman from Ohio. She is a power to the people black woman, okay? And she takes no guff from anybody. But what she said on CNN about Barack Obama talking to black men was the best. Take a listen.
Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President Obama. But for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups, my message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And why, as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
Now, I'm going to just give Nina Turner her just due. As the sister girl say, I'm going to give her flowers. She gets her flowers. Now, let me explain to you why. And it's not because Nina Turner agrees with me. It's because she's 100% right. These black men have an absolute right to choose who they wish to choose, and they don't have to single them out based on their race. You have to single out voters based upon what their needs are. See them where they are. Don't suggest that because they're black, they're supposed to vote a certain way. And she goes further. And this is what's her name? Lauren Phillips. She comes in and talks about this nonsense.
Do you think, sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right that one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of a woman?
It might be some, listen, black men are socialized in the same society as any other man. So yes, is misogyny maybe a part of it? But again, is President Obama and is the Harris-Walz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing
This is not just about...
Yeah, they are not. And Nina Turner is 100% right. Just because she's a liberal doesn't, when she calls out, when she sees the BS, you got to call it out. You don't have to be tethered to every idea. That means that calls you a reasonable liberal. Y'all used to exist, but God bless Nina Turner. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and your grievances when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell & Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to experience something paranormal, supernatural, or unexplainable? Join host Jack Wagner on the podcast Otherworld as he explores spine-chilling real stories shared by everyday people who have experienced something unexplainable. Listen each week for first-person testimony from people who have come face-to-face with something that can't just be explained away. Listen and follow Otherworld, an Odyssey podcast, available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-272-1505. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-272-1505.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote.
800-272-1505. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-272-1505 or oxcarcare.com.
This is a 1 minute. California Psychics.
Got it.
America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many our prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember,
You got Donna in Glastonbury if you want to go to her real fast.
fires.
Oh, no, I got to do the contest.
Forest Service, your state.
Oh, okay, cool.
Tell her if she's willing to
The
hold.
airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
Oh, the airing of Grievance Friday, which means that we are going to have a weekend. And Roland hasn't even teased me about it being Friday already. What that is. He hasn't said, hey, Friday's here. No, he hasn't even teased me today. Something must be wrong. We'll get into that later. We'll have him expose it for the rest of us when we return. I got a contest for you, folks. Yeah, a contest. You guys are familiar with Between Rounds Bagels, right? Between Rounds Bagels, we love them. They the supporter of the network and the station, of course. We love them and we appreciate them. And, of course, they've got a dozen bagels a month for 6 months to the person who gets this trivia question right. The first person to get this trivia question right, and this is going to be tough. This is not going to be easy. So get ready. Make sure you're listening. This is a numbers question, okay? During Barack Obama's speech last night, stumping for Kamala Harris, all Barack could talk about was Donald Trump. And he talked about Donald Trump quite a bit. So we have a montage of how many times he mentions his name. Can you guess how many times Donald Trump or an iteration of Donald Trump was mentioned in this supercut? Are you ready? Start counting. I'm only going to play it twice. Barack, you're on.
Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Only play it
Donald
once.
Trump, Donald Trump, Trump. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Trump, Donald 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 Trump for Trump, Donald Trump, Trump, Donald Trump, Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Trump.
I'm not kidding. That was
That's
one
it.
speech.
Nope, just
we can't
once.
play it. We can't play any more than that. Okay. We can only play it once. That's how many times he said Donald Trump or an iteration of just Trump in that speech. If you can guess how many times he said Donald Trump's name or Trump in general, we will get you a dozen bagels for a month for 6 months, brought to you by Between Rounds Bagels, our wonderful sponsor. If you can get it, okay? You just give us the first person who can get it. Get on the line, and you can get it. You have to call up 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842, and then we will get you those 6 months of a dozen bagels. All right? So, yeah, that's about it. We got to get into the BPS traffic center.
Got Ian Stark.
Oh, and we got Ian Stark today at the BPS traffic center. Hello, Ian.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. It's busy out there, as you'd imagine, both ways on 84 through the city. As you make your way westbound over the Bulkley Bridge, you're backed up, and that backs up westbound too, and you see traffic right out to Prospect Avenue to exit 44. You're also seeing some traffic heading westbound on 84 in East Hartford by exit 58 by Robert Street. That is due to an earlier crash. Eastbound 84, same thing. From exit 44 back to the ramps 91, you're slowing down. Also 91 southbound slows down from 291 into 84. Then look out in Meriden as the northbound Wilbur Cross kind of busy approaching 691. And northbound 9 slows down in Middletown as you approach the Aragoni Bridge and Main Street. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by True Law. SickVets.com.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy. It'll be quite pleasant, the high of 71 to wrap up the week. Then tonight, under clear skies, cool and comfy with the low down to 53. Beautiful start to the weekend for Saturday. It'll be sunny and pleasant, but quite breezy, the high of 73. The west-northwest wind cranking along at 10 to 20 miles an hour, but definitely the better of the two weekend days as Sunday will be notably cooler when damp and raw with occasional rain and drizzle in the high only 56. Now Monday, a couple of showers in the morning, then a mix of clouds and sunshine for the afternoon. The high 61, but still quite breezy with that northwest wind busy at 10 to 20 miles an hour. That wind continues into Tuesday. It'll be cloudy, the high only 55, making for quite a cool feeling day. Wednesday, still breezy and quite cool with a blend of sun and clouds. The high dialed back to 53. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, hosted by Dr. Anthony Alessi, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts in their fields about the latest medical findings and call in with your medical question. Healthy Rounds is dedicated to providing accurate and timely health information and is sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Ratchford Eye Center, St. Francis Hospital, Covaris, and Yukon Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC, News Talk 1080, and WTIC.com. WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. It was 2 years ago tomorrow when 2 Bristol police officers were shot and killed in the line of duty. And now there's a permanent memorial in their names. Here's WTIC's Dave Mager.
In the days after Dustin DeMonte and Alex Hamzy were ambushed and killed by a Bristol resident, a Bristol police cruiser became the center of a temporary memorial. Now 2 doors from that cruiser are on permanent display at police headquarters. Mayor Jet Caggiano spoke at a dedication ceremony.
I really appreciate what the community has done to come together to not only support our 2 families, and there are members from both those families here. So my heart and prayers still go out to the DeMonte and Hamzy families.
The cruiser doors are signed with messages from those who came out to see that original memorial 2 years ago. Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
Hurricane cleanup stretches from northwest to southeast Florida. CBS's Peter King is in Orlando.
Dakota Moores is in St. Augustine, which got Milton's tail end.
Nothing like shocking. I just see debris all over the street. Kind of normal stuff. I thought it was going to be worse.
An expected Florida gas shortage may not be as bad as expected. Oil analyst Tom Closa.
So many people loaded up with gasoline ahead of the storm that there isn't much demand in the next few days. You know, somebody with an 18-gallon tank doesn't necessarily need to buy fuel when it moves down to 16.
In the meantime, they're making progress in restoring power to the states. Governor Ron DeSantis with an update this afternoon.
Everything I've heard from the utilities, because they have so many people, we had the 50,000 linemen, the power restoration, given that you had 4 million plus out, is going to be more rapid than I think any similar outage in the history of these hurricanes.
2 female pedestrians in the hospital after Waterbury police say they were struck Thursday night by a hit-and-run driver. Officers say just after 8 p.m. they were dispatched to the scene near 38 Walnut Street. Both victims are from Waterbury and were rushed to a local hospital for treatment. A 22-year-old woman is in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. 21-year-old woman in stable condition. A preliminary investigation suggests that in addition to hitting the women, the driver also struck 2 nearby vehicles and took off, fled the scene. Anyone with any information being asked to get in touch with Waterbury police. CBS's Deborah Patta now with more on stepped-up airstrikes in and around Beirut.
2 strikes overnight deep in the heart of the capital, the deadliest attack since Israel began hitting central Beirut last month. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has threatened the devastation seen in Gaza on Lebanon if its people do not stand up to Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants.
Former President Trump is campaigning in Aurora, Colorado today. Meantime, Vice President Harris is trying to rally the Latino votes in the Phoenix area.
There is a last-minute effort called Hombres for Harris because, in particular, it is Hispanic men that she is struggling with. So her running mate, Tim Walz, along with Congressman Ruben Gallego, who is running for U.S. Senate and has a significant lead, and other members of the Hispanic caucus in Congress are on a tour trying to meet these people where they are.
Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow up 409 points. NASDAQ up 60. S&P ahead 34 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
At Lenses Only Optical Centers, we believe clear, convenient, and affordable. That's why we've got 5 locations ready to serve you. With locations in Avon, Bloomfield, Torrington, Weathersfield, and now Plainville. There's a Lenses Only Optical Center nearby, offering the latest in stylish frames and top-quality lenses. Our experienced team is dedicated to helping you find the perfect look and the perfect fit. With personalized service
Do we have a winner
every step of
yet?
the way. 5 locations, 1 mission, your vision. Visit the Lenses Only Optical Center today.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Granger. Granger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, it means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, it's an airing of Grievance Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. We'll get to our winner shortly, who will get between round bagels, 1 dozen bagels a month for 6 months. For the person who got the answer right, about how many times did Barack Obama say Donald Trump's name or an iteration of Donald Trump during his speech in Pittsburgh. And we'll get to so much more. Of course, Kamala Harris held a town hall for Univision, which is not one of my favorite places. I like Telemundo. But we'll get into that. I've got some audio from that as well. And, of course, some commentary that went along with that. Of course, the teleprompter nonsense that we found out about. How, God, just awful. Sometimes I'm just too embarrassed to even talk about this woman in some of these spaces. It's actually pretty bad. Someone said something interesting about Barack Obama's, commentary to black voters. That he said, again, I still don't understand it. This is something he could have done during his speech, but he chose to do it quietly and let it leak out on X and on TikTok, which shows that, of course, he would never say that in front of others. He was hoping that that speech would go the rounds in the black community, so-called black community, and that would inspire people to say, oh, Barack Obama ain't happy with us. We need to rally around Kamala Harris because we are not showing our true respect for that black woman. And then someone said this to me. They went, isn't Barack Obama sounding awfully familiar? And they're right. He sounds a little bit like this.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
I might say so. I'd say that sounds exactly like old Joe Biden. Put y'all back in chains, Joe Biden. I mean, wouldn't you agree? How is it not? Just how is it not? Sounds exactly like it. You don't know?
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
You got your marching orders there, brothers. Oh, sorry. Brothers. Get through it. Now it's time to get back into the BPS Traffic Center with Ian Stark.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Seeing a lot of company in the capital city right now in 84. This report brought to you by Stu Leonard. So you're seeing traffic over the Bulkley Bridge as you make your way westbound on 84.
Closest I got so far is 33.
44.
That's the closest?
Westbound 2, trying to make your way up to 84 West.
Somebody said 63. I said, damn.
It's going to be slow as it is eastbound 84. Heading anywhere from Prospect Avenue, exit 44 back to
Okay,
91.
I've got
You see
somebody in the
traffic on
chat room that
southbound
got it right.
91 as you proceed from 291 into 80.
Who's in the chat room?
Guy by the name of Roland Mark.
Northbound Wilbur Cross.
Would be a Roland to get it right.
I know, right?
Northbound 9 for delays to New Britain from around the Fairview Cemetery, all the way up to around exit 38 by Cedar Street.
Roland,
Traffic
we need
weather
to get your
together in 8.
information. You're the
WTIC
only person
NewsTalk
that got it
1080.
right so far.
WTIC weather.
The evening and overnight clear skies. It's going to be
So,
pretty nice
in
for
fact-
us as we make our way at least into the weekend.
Roland,
but,
do me a
things will
favor if
turn
you
for us
can. You
as
know
we
the
head out
telephone
into
numbers
the
here on the
beginning
screen,
of next week and the end of the weekend, too.
860-522-WTIC
Starting with tonight, clear skies.
or
comfortable to low down to
9842. Give
53.
Roland a call so
Great
he
day
can
to
get your
kick off the
information and
weekend.
get you on
Saturday
it.
sunny. It will be quite breezy, but pleasant with that high 73, a busy west-northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunday, not as nice. Significantly cooler, occasional rain and drizzle, a damp and raw day for us Sunday, with the high only 56. Monday, couple of showers in the morning, then clouds and sun for the afternoon. Quite breezy. That high 61 will feel like it's in the 50s all day with that northwest wind cranking along 10 to 20 miles an hour during the day on Monday. Tuesday, turning out cloudy, breezy. Again, that west wind 10 to 20 miles an hour. The high 55, likely feeling like upper 40s all day. Then Wednesday, breezy and cooler still. A blend of sun and clouds, the high only 53. The west-northwest winds continuing at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Right now, Bristol 69, New Haven 66, it's 70 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
This October, Odyssey and Hartford Healthcare Cancer Institute are teaming up to save lives. Your donation can help provide free mammograms for women in need. Donate at lightthemonthpink.org. That's lightthemonthpink.org, because every gift makes a difference. Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding thin and dull hair and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume from New Nordic, available on
Better call quick because these lines filling up.
NewNordicUSA.com.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Isn't it time you thought about an estate plan for your family? Estate planning attorneys help prioritize and carry out personalized asset protection strategies. The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott has served the legal needs of individuals and their small businesses since 1977. Our experienced estate planning team is ready to help. With Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, you get more than a lawyer. You get
Way
a
too
law
much,
firm.
Sokolowski.
Visit us at bpslawyers.com. Nancy Tanucci approved this ad.
Prescriptions required.
1 minute.
Your provider will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
The airing of grievances. Got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
And we're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. This grievance, airing of grievance Friday. Your phone call's coming up very soon. Did you listen to or even watch the Univision town hall that she did? I couldn't watch it, and I was going to play some audio from it. I had to only play the answers that Kamala Harris gave because it's horrible because the way in which they did it, it was the person would be speaking Spanish and the translator would be translating it for the television, and then the person in the audience or who was the moderator would then transfer in English for Kamala Harris. So it was really, really confusing. So I didn't want to play that part of the audio because that would just mess up the whole thing. So I figured I would just take the question and read it to you and then Kamala Harris would answer the question. And it was one in particular out of all of them. Usually, the kind of simple questions. Everybody had the rudimentary questions for Kamala Harris. But there was one particular woman who was speaking to Kamala, was asking a question, and it was in particular about her family and, again, being able to afford prices, afford the uptick in prices to buy food. And what she pretty much just said was, Kamala, listen, I got 5 kids, and the prices are going up. It's becoming very expensive. I buy gandules, arroz con pollo, I buy the sazon, I buy the Taco Bell. It's all expensive. What are you going to do for me? Kamala, we want to vote for you, but you have to tell us how you're going to bring the prices down because inflation is too high. And Kamala answered. This is how she answered. I'm sorry, that was just too much.
Thank you for the question and your point. Listen, I know prices are too high still. You know prices are too high still. And we have to deal with it. Here's how I feel about it. Again, you've heard my story. I come from the working class. I'm never going to forget where I come from. And part of what we have to do is build what I call an opportunity economy, where people have the opportunity, like you have described, for you to be able to work hard and your 5 daughters have an opportunity to then do what they and what you aspire for them to be able to do without having to worry about just getting by. I want you to be able to get ahead.
Can we start calling her copy-paste Kamala? Can we just do that? Just get this over with. That's the same answer she gives to everyone. And all I wanted that woman was to look back at her and just go, Kamala, you said that last time. That's what I wanted to hear from her. Let's go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Carol's in Southington. How are you, Carol?
Good. Did you get an answer for that yet?
Do you have it?
I don't know. I counted 57.
You would think he said it that many times. No, you're well over. You're well over. You got an airing of grievance, or did you want to comment on something else?
I did, because I don't think he said it as many times, because I've been listening for a long time.
Okay.
Haven't called in much. But Tim of Hamden has him way over the barrel, because I have never, ever listened to Tim call in and not talk about Trump.
Well, yes. I mean, that's kind of the whole ordeal. And as you remember in my conversation with Reggie yesterday, every answer to their candidate or somebody they support is met with a but Trump, but Trump, but Trump. It's never about their candidate, which in essence is the thing that they're supposed to be selling, right? Can you imagine if someone were selling you a vacuum cleaner by, widgets, and the only thing they talked about was, Cuisinart's version of the thing? Like, if someone came up to you and talked about why their product works, and the only thing they told you was that the other product was bad, but never told you about why their product is good, that shows you that they don't have a winning argument.
That's right.
So
exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting place that we are, and I think the problem is that it's not so much about being intellectually dishonest. I don't think it's about that. It's that the only thing they want to express is their hatred or dismay with Donald Trump. They really don't have any real support for their candidate. They just need an opportunity to hate Trump or to in some way get at him or to inflict some sort of moral pain on him.
Exactly. And I feel sorry for them. Anybody so full of hate has no room for love in their heart.
Oh, absolutely not. In fact, I call him that. I call Donald Trump the new boogeyman. And they need the boogeyman because in the end, it gives them some sense of pride and it gives them that moral high ground. That's what it is. And they've decided that if you don't see things the way that they do, you're immoral. And that is where they want to be. They want to see the moral high ground. I'm obviously more sophisticated than you because I would never vote for Donald Trump. You, bigot racist, you would vote for him. I'm voting for Kamala. Why? Because she's not Trump. That's all that is. That's all it is.
The stupidest thing I've ever heard of. You know what I mean?
Don't tell them that. No,
somebody said to me the other day, I'm going to get gas, and it's pretty cheap now. It's $3.68. spectacular. My high test is almost $4, but I said to them, "You must have forgotten what gas was like 4 years ago."
You know what? They've come to terms with the abuse. I said this before, Carol. Remember, this is an abusive relationship they have with the Democrats. They are willing to take the abuse because they will never cede that ground. Okay? It's like that's the abusive relationship. The things that they will tolerate for their party, they wouldn't tolerate from anyone else because their party is moral. So that $3.69 that they're paying for gas, they can reason with that because they can deal with the abuse because it's one of their own.
Exactly.
So
It's so sad. It
I
really
know.
is sad.
Thank you, Carol. I appreciate you calling in. And I know this is one of your first times, so thank you. Please call back. Mike is in Newington. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Reese, how are you?
Pretty good, sir.
Good. Did you get my guess from, who's it, Roland? What's his name?
No. Did you, Mike, what was your
Newington.
guess? Did you put a guess inside in the system? What did you get?
17.
No, way too little. It's way more than.
Yeah, I was thinking, at first I was going to say 27, but I said, no, I think Reese is repeating some of them.
I thought it was too, but I had to double check the speech. I had to go through the whole speech to actually count it. But no, it's more than 17. Yep. It's more than 17.
Yep.
You got a grievance for me?
Yep. Well, no, my buddy lives down in Florida, and hoping everything's okay with him. I got in touch with his mom today, who lives right near there. But, you know, the thing that bothers me has nothing to do with any of the topics you've been talking about, but the fact that he lives down there, he bought a house several years ago because Florida was cheaper, but he has no homeowner's insurance on it because of the exorbitant amount of money that they want to cover your house in Florida.
Yeah.
And some insurance companies don't even give you insurance. They won't insure you. So he can lose everything, but it's either that or you got to pay $10,000 to $15,000 a year for insurance.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's that ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So a guy says, "I'll take my chances," and I, it's scary.
That's an interesting place to take your chances, all things considered. But it's not like they deal with those kind of devastating hurricanes all the time. But when they do, they're serious. I think Ron DeSantis talked about back in 2004. They had, it was like over and over and over again, and then you didn't have them for a while, but then it comes back, and it's the same routine. So yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to him. Thank you, Mike.
Look what's happening in Connecticut with car insurance.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, well, first of all, that's a problem that we can solve. We don't need a hurricane for that. We need a vote. That's all we need to do is to get those bozos out of there.
How do you solve it? You got to get all the crazy drivers off the road that are making our rates go up.
Also true. Good deal. Thank you, sir. Jim is in Wellington. How are you, sir?
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what. President Obama, he follows that same script and that same philosophy concerning his communication with Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I just cannot believe that he tells people what he can't believe and what he can't understand.
Yeah.
While he sends the message to them that, hey, listen, you got to believe what I believe because you're not smart enough to make your own decision.
You mean what you meant to say was,
if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, well, that, you know what? That is exactly what he's saying. And it's the same thing. Go back 75 or 80 years. It's the same thing. Any group of people that the far progressive left thinks isn't capable of doing anything, they have to be told. They have to be taken care of. You have to insult them. You have to make sure every single thing you do for them, they understand they can't do for themselves. It's the craziest thing.
It is.
And the thing that really gets me is, what has he done for Black Americans during his administration?
Nothing.
I'd love to know because I'm not sure, but I do know some of the things that the Trump administration did.
One guy called into a morning show and he said this. He asked him, is there anything that Barack Obama did for the African-American community? And his response was, he set race relations back another 200 years. He did that.
There you go. You know what? I'm going to keep, I don't have to say anything else because that tops it. That ends my comment. You can't say it any better than that.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, and listen, and Roland pulled a plug on me, I think by mistake, but that's okay. My guess was 28.
Oh, God, you're so close. You're so close.
I told him he was wrong and hung up.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, Mike. I'm sorry, that was Jim. Can we? Yeah, I got time for George. George is in St. Louis. How are you, sir?
Hi, Reese. I don't like communism. My family immigrated. My family immigrated in the late 40s from the Baltic states when Russia was rolling their tanks across the borders.
Wow.
Same as they were doing with Ukraine right now.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you about communism. They destroy the history, your history.
Mm-hmm.
They introduce the state-run media so they control the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
They destroy your currency. They introduce socialism to all of the schools, so they introduce brainwashing to the little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Religion is destroyed. They militarize the police. You don't need laws. They just move in and break down your doors.
Mm-hmm.
They introduce rationing, food rationing, and energy rationing. So, and by the way, they've had mass starvations in both China and Russia, in the last few decades. This is what Obama and Kamala is selling to you, and frankly, you don't want it. You don't want it.
They don't.
They ferment race hostility.
Mm-hmm.
You get the idea.
But why do you think, if I were to ask you real quick, George, because you could say this all day until a liberal's ears bleed, but in 30 seconds, tell me why do you think that a liberal listening to you right now thinks that there's no way that that's true, that they would dismiss what you just said? Why do you think they dismiss it, or they don't even consider it?
I would ask them another question. Have you been brought up in the state-controlled school system? Have you been listening to the state-controlled media for the last several years? Then what you've been hearing about Trump and freedom has brainwashed you for all that period of time. You've been brainwashed. And you haven't realized it yet.
Sad part is that they believe that we're the ones who are brainwashed. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, well.
Thank you, George. I appreciate you. Last one for this half hour. Let's go to Ralph is in South Carolina. Sorry I didn't get to you yesterday, Ralph. How are you?
Good, Reese. Couple things. First of all, how many young black men do you think were watching Barack Obama speak?
At that particular moment, very few. I don't think they follow him like that.
I have a question for you, and I wonder if you have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
We give Israel bombs.
Yep.
Israel brings the bombs over to Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
They blow up the bridges. They blow up the highways for military reasons. And now we're going to give Lebanon $157 million to rebuild the bridges and roads that the Israelis blew up.
Don't even get me started. Dude, don't get me started, Ralph. Again, this is the part, and here's the worst part, right? They make this announcement while there's arguments in the news media about the people in North Carolina, in Asheville, North Carolina, and whether or not they are going to be able to receive funds due to the damage of Hurricane Helene, right? While the administration at the same time is saying that they don't have the funds to withstand the rest of the hurricane season through November. You couldn't get a more tone-deaf administration.
Reese, I got a great idea. Let's get our military up in the air. Let's blow up the roads and bridges in North Carolina. And all those homes, and then they'll pay and they'll send the money over to repair them.
And you know what? And then we get the administration to give the money to the militias, the other enemies. Thank you, sir. I got to take a break. Again, I don't even know what to tell you. Anyway, more airing of grievance when we return. I've got to talk about Doug Emhoff, who was asked whether or not the story about him slapping his ex-girlfriend was true. If you haven't heard it, you will not believe his answer. This is insane. This is insane how he answered the question of whether or not he slapped his girlfriend back in 2012 while he was at the Cannes Film Festival. All right? Stick around for that. Let's now get to the BPS Traffic Center with Ian Stark.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Still got a tough trip ahead in Hartford both ways on 84 from the Bulkley Bridge to exit 44 as you head westbound towards Prospect Avenue. A lot of people doing the same thing at the same time, and that is why westbound 2 is backed up from the Wilbur Cross up to 84 West. Now eastbound 84, you're slow way before you get to Prospect Avenue. I mean, as you approach exit 44, that's where the delays really get heavy. But before you get to that exit ramp, you're going to see a lot of delays kicking in, and you see delays stay right out to 91. The 91 slows down southbound from 291 to 84, and northbound 91 also not great in Cromwell approaching 9 into exit 22, and in Meriden still seeing traffic on the northbound Wilbur Cross approaching 691. Traffic weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic brought to you by Cape Cod Fence, more than just fences.
Cape Cod Fence Company in Canton has been Connecticut's premier fencing contractor since 1956. Quality craftsmanship, products that last for years, and the local team known for expert installation. Check us out at CapeCodFence.com. Cape Cod Fence Company.
WTIC weather. For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy. It'll be quite pleasant, the high of 71 to wrap up the week. Then tonight under clear skies, cool and comfy with the low down to 53. Beautiful start to the weekend for Saturday. It'll be sunny and pleasant, but quite breezy, the high of 73. The west-northwest wind cranking along at 10 to 20 miles an hour, but definitely the better of the two weekend days as Sunday will be notably cooler when damp and raw with occasional rain and drizzle in the high only 56. Now Monday, a couple of showers in the morning, then a mix of clouds and sunshine for the afternoon. The high 61, but still quite breezy with that northwest wind busy at 10 to 20 miles an hour. That wind continues into Tuesday. It'll be cloudy, the high only 55, making for quite a cool feeling day. Wednesday, still breezy and quite cool with a blend of sun and clouds. The high dialed back to 53. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
69 degrees at 4:30. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. 2 women have been seriously injured, and Waterbury police are on the lookout for the driver who struck the 2 pedestrians and took off last night. The victims found in the area of 38 Walnut Street. A 22-year-old is in critical condition, 21-year-old stable. The offending driver also hit 2 other vehicles before fleeing the scene. Meantime, also in Waterbury, 2 men are under arrest in connection with a shooting from earlier this summer. It was August 17th. They were called to 21 William Street on a report of a robbery. On arrival, officers found the victim with gunshot wounds. Now under arrest, 24-year-old Joshua Rodriguez, 29-year-old Brett Foster, both facing a number of weapons, assault, and robbery charges. Bristol Police Department honored fallen officers Lieutenant Dustin DeMonte and Sergeant Alex Hamsey today with a permanent memorial in the lobby of the Bristol Police Department headquarters. The 2 were fatally gunned down in an ambush 2 years ago tomorrow. Vice presidential nominee Tim Walz on the campaign trail in Michigan just hours after former President Trump was there. Trump in Aurora, Colorado today, while Vice President Harris is campaigning in the Phoenix area in Arizona. Governor Lamont has announced $28 million to go toward the increase of broadband access to 88 towns and cities across the state. The money coming from the first round of the state's Connected Communities grant program. And Florida residents repairing the damage caused by Hurricane Milton, cleaning up debris. Governor Ron DeSantis urging residents to be careful. There have already been several reported fatalities because people came into contact with live downed power lines and all the water that's there as well. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 409 points today. The Nasdaq gained 60. S&P was up 34. National League Division Series, winner take all tonight. Game 5, it's the Padres and the Dodgers. Series tied at 2 games apiece, and the winner faces the Mets in the National League Championship Series. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Is your car still under warranty? No, not anymore. My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote, 800-272-1505. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-272-1505, 800-272-1505, or go to oxcarcare.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7. We guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free.
Oh, man.
It's the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are. All the time.
Here we go.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I totally forgot to mention that the stupidest thing that I read today is that Diddy hates his prison food. I can't believe that was an actual story. His lawyer was complaining if there's anything that Diddy is upset about while being locked up in a federal holdup in Brooklyn is that he doesn't like the food. It's a jail cell, Diddy. It's not supposed to be delectable. You're not going to get the finest cheeses in your cheese sandwich, okay? It's just the way it is. But you can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com to read the stupidest thing that I read today and plenty of other stories. If you haven't read them, please go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. And I just want to mention, if you haven't seen it, you can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com right now, watch the show live. We got shirts are coming in. In fact, they'll be here in the next day or two. But we got the first one, Plan Your Work and Work Your Plan. That shirt's coming in with Reese on the Radio, the logo in the back. If you want to check that out, just go to, again, ReeseOnTheRadio.com. We've got Doug Emhoff to talk about this. If you haven't heard this story, it's a story out of the UK Daily Mail. They were the first ones to report that Doug Emhoff divorced his first wife after it was found out that he cheated on his first wife with the nanny and got the nanny pregnant. Of course, in true Democrat fashion, I believe that he got her to get an abortion. And now there's a story that Doug Emhoff, the guy who is literally being touted as the new face of masculinity, has another story in the UK Daily Mail that back in 2012, in public, at a valet with his then girlfriend, slapped her in the face because she flirted with the valet. If you've missed, by the way, the Reese on the Radio rundown that airs here on Sundays, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. You can listen to last Sunday's show there as well. And I break down exactly why Doug Emhoff would slap a girlfriend who was looking at the valet. We're talking about a guy who's worth a lot of money. I don't know if he was a millionaire then, but he was a very wealthy man at the time, and he's very wealthy today. What would make him slap his girlfriend for flirting with a valet? I have some explanations for that on the Reese on the Radio rundown that aired last week Sunday. So if you'd like to check that out, check out the podcast at ReeseOnTheRadio.com. It's an interesting idea, and I make the connection to R&B singer Eric Benet. And you might be familiar with Eric Benet. He was the guy who was married to Halle Berry. And a lot of people said, like, what? It's not true. He and Halle Berry ended up breaking up because he had so many affairs. He was sleeping with so many different women behind her back. And I know a lot of you were going, he cheated on Halle Berry? And I'm like, yeah, he cheated on Halle Berry. And I explained that in the podcast. So go check it out, ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Now let's get another check of the traffic with Ian Stark.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. This report brought to you by Whittlesey, and we're seeing a lot more traffic now eastbound on 84 with delays kicking in around Park Road at exit 43 all the way to the ramps for 91. And westbound, you're busy over the Bulkley Bridge back to around Prospect Avenue at exit 44. Westbound 2 slows down approaching 84 west. Also seeing traffic on 91 southbound from 291 to 84. Northbound 91 slows down in Middletown as you pass exit 20 for Country Club Road and northbound 3 crowd in Glastonbury near the Main Street exit. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at WAdvising.com. Traffic weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, under clear skies, mild but comfortable with the low down to 53. A nice day on Saturday, the nicer of the 2 weekend days by a long shot. Sunny, breezy, and pleasant on Saturday, the high 73. Busy west-northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour sustained throughout the day, though. Now, Sunday, we make a full circle, 180 here. Cooler with occasional rain and drizzle, a damp and a raw day, the high dialed back to 56. Then Monday, couple of showers in the morning, mix of clouds and sun for the afternoon. Another breezy and cool day. The high 61 will feel like 50s all day with that northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Still breezy on Tuesday, cooler, turning out cloudy as well. The high 55 will feel closer to maybe the upper 40s with that west wind cranking along 10 to 20 miles an hour. Breezy and cooler still on Wednesday. The high only 53 with a blend of sun and clouds and that west-northwest wind at 10 to 20. Right now, it is 68 in Danbury. It's 66 in Mansfield, 70 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown vinyl siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
And what could be better than two of your favorites for $3.99? Like the McDouble, McChicken, or 6-piece McNugget. So stop in for twice the delicious. The price of participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
1 minute.
What are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA.
Mark your mess.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the Radio.
We are back. It's Reese on the Radio, the airing of grievances Friday. So make sure you get on the phones at 860-522-WTIC. Doug Emhoff, the first, is he the second gentleman? Right? Oh, the first, yeah, second gentleman. I think that's what he is. Anyway, he was on MSNBC talking to Chuck Scarborough. Is it Chuck Scarborough? Joe Scarborough. That's right, Joe Scarborough. Chuck Scarborough is former NBC guy from New York. Joe Scarborough talking about the allegations, the tabloid allegations, as Joe Scarborough calls it, of him slapping his then girlfriend in 2012. I thought this response was interesting from Doug Emhoff. Listen closely.
In spreading it about you, saying that
tabloid stories about your personal life, saying it should be front and center. He's saying it about your wife and making incredibly crude and lewd suggestions about her past life. I'm just curious. I know I seem like a very zen.
What lewd suggestions, Joe? That she was messing around with a married man? That's not lewd.
Mindful person. But I think I'd be pissed off. And I'm just wondering, how do you all stay centered? How do you stay disciplined and not really go off and not really push back hard at these things?
We don't have time to be pissed off. We don't have time to focus on it. It's all a distraction. It's designed to try to get us off our game.
Does it get you off?
No. All we are doing, all we talk about is this election. We understand the stakes. We understand the responsibility. We understand the account.
What are the stakes?
Our very country, our future. What kind of future are we going to have?
Oh, stop it. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I feel like the entire Democrat Party has turned into an overdramatic, over-caffeinated 16-year-old girl. Oh, there's so much at stake. You have no idea what's at stake. Are you kidding me? It's going to be over. Oh, there's so much at stake. Did you hear that Johnny is no longer dating Claire? Did you hear? Oh, the worlds are going to collide. 860-522-WTIC. Joel's in Windsor. How are you, Joel?
Hi, Reese. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
I have a question, and then I wanted to guess on the number of times that
Go for
Obama said Trump.
Okay, what was your question?
What happened to Todd Feinberg?
To be honest with you, I can't really answer that. I wish I could, but I can't really answer it. But from what I know, he's okay.
He's okay.
No, he's okay.
Hopefully.
He's okay.
And my guess on the Trump thing to win the bagels is 22.
Oh,
am I close?
No, it's unfortunately for Obama, it was more than 22. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh.
Yeah, it's more than 22. Indeed. Thank you, Joel. I appreciate you. Unless you got a grievance. No? Okay, not. Let's go to Josh in Southington. Hey, another Southington call. What's going on, Josh?
Reese, how you doing, man?
Pretty good.
All right, quick. The guess is 36.
Oh, too high.
Too high. All right, I thought I missed a couple, so I overshot it. But
That's okay. What you got going on?
Not much, man. The grievance is one of your callers already mentioned it earlier. We don't have any money for North Carolina, but we can send 150 something million over to Lebanon for bridges.
And they're bragging.
North Carolina has just reported that they have at least 100 bridges that will need to be completely rebuilt.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this is the thing that I don't understand about this administration, and it's the reason why I make the claim that they're not only phoning it in, they're throwing in the towel, because they're announcing this with pride. You know what I mean? It's like Israel goes in there and they go after Hezbollah, who's clearly run over the region, right? And then they say, behind their so-called biggest ally or closest ally in the region, yeah, don't worry, we'll go fund the destruction that you rightly had to take, the action that you had to take to stop Hezbollah from trying to take you out. Don't worry, we'll finance them. Hey, North Carolina, we'll get you $750 that you'll apply for, but I understand you guys don't have internet. Get to us when you can. It's a joke. Everything about this administration is a joke. And I got something else I need to throw in about Barack Obama, but wait for that one. That one's good.
Sounds good. Well, we're not meant to understand them. Apparently, I thought that I grew up in a middle-class family, but I can't understand what they're doing, so maybe I didn't.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. The middle-class family that Kamala Harris is talking about isn't the middle-class family the rest of us understand. It's good. Hers involves Berkeley.
Yeah,
that's the middle class.
The middle of the private school class family.
Exactly. It's a very valid point. Thank you,
brother.
Josh.
Have a good weekend.
You too, sir. Mike is in Thomaston. How are you, Mike?
What's up, Reese?
What's up, buddy?
I'm guessing 31.
Oh, baby! Give it to him. Mike in Thomaston, 31 is the exact answer of the Obama challenge. You have won a Between Rounds Bagels, dozen of bagels for a month for 6 months. We'll take your information after call. You don't get a grievance because you got 6 months of a dozen donuts.
Is there
bagels?
Bagels. Sorry.
Donate them to Helping Hands.
Sorry.
Is there any way I can donate them to Helping Hands Food Bank?
You mean Friendly Hands?
Yeah, the one you're always promoting in Torrington.
We would love to. In fact, you know what? Stand by. We'll see whether or not we can get that arranged. I'll find out whether or not it's transferable. Let's see if we can. But we can. Okay. We'll take your information. In fact, we'll get Karen Thomas on the line, and we will let them know. We'll actually do the donation in your honor.
All right, that works.
Thank you, man. Much appreciated, Mike. I love it. I totally love it. Thank you, sir. Let's go to Everett in East Hartford. How you doing, Everett?
Good. Before I get into my errands of grievances, you got to check out the movie The Mouse That Roared. It came out way back in the 60s.
Okay.
It's about this little tiny country that declared war on the United States. And they were so tiny, they only had one cannon. And the king said, well, that's okay. All we have to do is fire one shot, and then we'll run up the white flag and surrender. And the United States will come and rebuild our country. That's basic premise of the movie.
I got to see that now.
Hilarious. The Mouse That Roared.
I love it. That sounds, you know what? I think that's where Biden may be getting his foreign policy from, if that's the case. I might have to consider that. That maybe, you know what, we always ask ourselves, where did these presidents get their foreign policy from? Where did they get their domestic policy from? Perhaps that was the movie he referenced in his foreign policy. Oh, it's interesting. Thank you so much for that, man. That one's really good. Thank you, man. Let's go to Rob in Meriden. How are you, Rob?
Good. Thank you for picking up the call. Great show.
Thank you.
I had a question, about taxes. I bought, a house, or, whatever, one house, another house, but one house is 1997. The taxes were $3,600 a year.
Okay.
Now it's 76 and change.
Wow.
So then you throw on $2,300 for homeowners insurance. So you're paying, it goes included every monthly. I pay it monthly on top of the print. You're paying $800 a month just basically to the bank and for insurance. So the guy in Florida, I could hear his pain, but I felt that pain a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it is, and but they'll get used to it after a while. You just accept it. Like you're supposed to accept high prices for groceries, and after a while, they ain't going to come down. Even if gas goes to 1 cent a gallon, those groceries ain't coming down.
You don't think the grocery prices? It's funny you say that, because I keep asking myself, at this rate, has there been such an increase in prices? How low could they bring them down at this point that didn't affect the overhead or even the profit margin of the store? Because in essence, if you think about it, prices have gotten so high, people have purchased less because they can't, right? And so whatever their profit margin was, that got brought down significantly. Also, the fact that the things that they bought or they purchased for their store, that reduced significantly because people weren't buying them. So they took an incredible loss. If you're a chain of grocery stores, you have clearly shareholders.
Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. A place like that.
Well, what they do, they muscle people. If you're making pizzas and you're Reese's Pizza Company, you make frozen pizzas.
Right.
We're going to tell you better make those things for $1 a piece.
Right.
Because we're going to sell them for $1.75.
That's right.
And we got to pick them up. We got to transport them to our place. We got to pay for the refrigeration. And you're like, hey, wait a minute. It costs us you want to sell them for $1. You're going to sell them for $1.75, but it takes us $1.20 to make them. So some people think when you buy bulk, I knew a guy did bakery for D'Angelo's when they first started in Connecticut, and say you had a bakery, it sounded good. We'll give you 25 cents a roll. These are our equipment, and you pay for the gas bill, and we're going to give you 25 cents a roll. Yeah. But the guy could have sold them for 45 cents, but he figures he's selling in bulk. He's losing 25 cents a roll.
One of the things we have to consider is that we could get, now we won't probably, you're probably right, we won't see a significant reduction in prices. But one of the key ways that we can get a little bit there is at least to alleviate some people. First of all, Donald Trump's got to do two things. He's got to be able to raise incomes in every fabric of our economy, right?
But their healthcare is going to go up. So
No, I totally understand it. But we've got and first of all, I think he's got that with the RFK thing, but I'll get into that later. But I think what he's got to do is increase incomes is one way. But one of the significant ways that we've seen prices go up is the price of energy has gone up. So he can alleviate that a little bit, not by much, and I agree, it's not enough. But some of those decreases, if he could get energy prices down and we become a producer of energy in this country again, and we could start that on day one, then we could see a reduction in those prices. Again, not by much, but it'll be a help.
Yeah, I have one more question for you, if you don't mind.
Real quick.
Oh, yeah. If somebody, a politician wanted to, if it was on a voting block, for presidential voting, that you demand, or they ask the voters, or what would you think, that people who are jogging on the side of the road day or night, rain or shine, have to have a fluorescent vest on?
Absolutely. I would make that mandatory. I would get them a ticket.
But what would happen? Guess what's going to happen to the funeral industry, the floral industry?
No, you can't. That is ridiculous. No, you can't.
Why isn't somebody doing it then? You get on the bandwagon, Reese. Get on the bandwagon.
No, I'm not getting on that bandwagon. I am telling you.
Push it.
No,
Why
I'm not.
Can't nobody else.
I'm not pushing. I'm not pushing for people to put their lives in danger. Put on a vest if you're out there jogging.
Put a vest on.
Yeah, of course.
Put a vest on.
I appreciate it.
And here's another thing. And here's one more thing.
I gotta go. I gotta take some more calls. Sean is in New Britain. How are you, Sean?
Hey, what's up, Reese? Man, sometimes I have to pull over. Sometimes you make me laugh so hard. I'm a construction worker. I have to pull on the side of the road just to laugh because I don't want to crash.
Thank you, Sean.
Ain't no job. This ain't no job. But D'Angelo's, that camp was cool. They used to work on Osgood Avenue off of Slater.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, one of my faves about the whole Vance and Waltz, when they were, whatever, well, I like you too.
Oh, yeah.
I like you. And everything was cool. But when he said Joy, and then he, in the same sentence, Joy and Taylor Swift, for me, that's when I'm telling you, Reese, I thought I was high on weed. I laughed so freaking hard. Because in the same sentence, Joy and Taylor Swift. I mean, come on, man. Is that what you got? Yeah. And then the whole... and then one of the another talk show hosts, I think it was 1360, whatever. Sorry,
that's okay.
He said all these lies, but he forgot about the Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
So this cat was he was a black-haired dude standing in front of a tank. Right. He was a dude who was in the military. He was a cat that. I mean, my goodness.
Listen to me. You know who Tim Walz is? Do you know who Tim Walz is? He is,
of course.
He's Brian Williams. That's who he is.
Oh, yeah. He's, when I was a kid in 1976, right, the Olympics, 1976 Olympics, we had people like Nadia Comaneci.
Yeah.
We had people like Bruce Jenner, and all my heroes were in there. I mean, Nadia was one of my heroes. I mean, she was great. Sugar Ray Leonard, Michael Spinks. These are my heroes.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Michael Spinks was your hero? Okay, I got it. There I got to parse with you. 91 seconds, Michael Spinks? We talking about the same guy? No, I'm kidding. I got to take a break. Let's get again into the BPS Traffic Center with Ian Stark filling in for Mark Christopher.
From the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center, we got that 5 o'clock rush thing happening right now. Heavy traffic on 84 eastbound through West Hartford, anywhere from exit 43 by Park Road right to the ramps from 91. You're crowded as you are westbound, big time over the Bulkley Bridge back to Prospect Avenue to exit 44, so expect slowdowns on westbound too as you try to merge with 84 West. And 91 still slows down southbound from 291 to 84, but also seeing traffic now northbound on 91 in Meriden due to a crash approaching the Wilbur Cross, and you slow down again through Middletown and Cromwell as you approach 9, anywhere between exit 20 from Country Club Road and exit 22. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of the afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, the high of 71. Tonight, under clear skies, cool and comfy, the low down to 53. Then Saturday, sunny, breezy, and pleasant, that high 73, but that west-northwest wind busy at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Notably cooler with occasional rain and drizzle. Sunday, it'll be a damp and raw day with the high only 56. Monday, couple of showers, clouds and sun for the afternoon, the high of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
One of the most memorable features. In 1936, Bob Steele became a junior staff announcer on WTIC. Like all beginners, he was placed on 6 months probation and was told to work on his Missouri accent. He started his announcing career reading station breaks and commercials. After 6 months, station management liked what they heard, a rich baritone voice and a genuine personality, and Bob Steele became part of the WTIC family. In 1939, Steele started the show Strictly Sports. His humor and passion for sports established him as one of the station's unique personalities. And in 1943, Bob was given the chance to audition for the morning time slot when the host enlisted in the Army. As you can guess, he got the job. The Morning Watch was eventually renamed The Bob Steele Show. It was a mixture of music, news, weather, and offbeat humor. Steele went on to be not only the most popular radio host,
Gotta be a Friday.
but one of the greatest success stories of radio.
I fucked that all up.
TIC is 99 and throwing a year to 100.
I cut it a minute short. I looked up. I thought it was said 5. It was 4:59. I said, "Oh shit!"
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. There's now a permanent memorial display in honor of Bristol police officers Dustin DeMonte and Alex Hamzy. They were ambushed and killed by a city resident 2 years ago tomorrow. The display includes 2 doors from a police cruiser that was surrounded by flowers and cards from mourners after the shooting. Bristol Police Chief Mark Morello says the department is committed to never forgetting the officers' sacrifice.
And to honor the incredible human beings that they were and the amazing life that they led. It also serves as a reminder of the bond that our agency has with our Bristol community.
The white cruiser doors include written messages from residents. They are on display in the lobby of Bristol Police Department headquarters. The cleanup is continuing, and it's going to be a long recovery for those in Florida who were hammered by Hurricane Milton and Helene before it. Correspondent Nicole Valdez is in Boca Grande, in southwest Florida.
Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino guided us through what was left of the small, battered community. Homes surrounded by brown water, cars swept away, businesses caked in sand.
I'm looking at pure devastation here. This is horrific. It's heartbreaking to me.
Milton slammed the island with 5-foot storm surges, threatening bridges and roads.
And the power restoration effort continues. 50,000 are down in the Sunshine State trying to get the lights back on. Still about 2 million customers without electricity. FEMA administrator Deanne Criswell is reassuring hurricane victims there is enough money and resources to help them.
I have enough money to support the immediate needs for everybody impacted by Helene and Milton. We're assessing every day how much it's drawing down on that so I can continue to work with my leadership as well as Congress as far as when we will need a supplemental. We will need one. It's just a matter of when.
And if you want to help hurricane victims by donating, try to make sure you're not getting scammed. Kristen Johnson, a spokeswoman for the Better Business Bureau here in Connecticut, says scammers will set up websites that look like they're from a real charity.
They'll copy the fonts, they'll copy the pictures, they'll copy everything. But the website at the top of the URL is not the same. So instead of it saying Red Cross, CROSS, it might just say CROS. And unless you look really closely, you don't realize you're not really on the Red Cross's website.
The Bureau says it is a red flag when a charity pressures you to donate immediately, and protect yourself by using a credit card instead of a more untraceable form of payment. There's a list of accredited organizations at give.org. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says an attack in southern Lebanon that left two peacekeepers wounded is intolerable and cannot be repeated.
Peacekeepers must be protected by all parties of the conflict. And what has happened is obviously condemnable.
And Israel says it is vowing to investigate. Governor Lamont has announced $28 million to increase broadband access in 88 cities and towns across Connecticut. WTIC's Morgan Cunningham.
The money's coming from the first round of the state's Connected Communities Grant Program using money from the American Rescue Plan Act. In this round, nearly 2,100 Comcast sites in 75 municipalities around the state are going to benefit, with a few hundred sites getting a boost from East Lyme to Putnam and Greenwich to Cornwall. The state says that this investment in broadband infrastructure will make Connecticut's towns and cities stronger, more resilient, and better positioned to engage in today's increasingly digitized world. Another $20 million will be available for another round at a later date. The State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is administering these grants. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
Wall Street, the Dow up 409 points today. NASDAQ up 60, S&P up 34. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this...
1 minute.
The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-953-1788. 800-953-1788. 800-953-1788. Tax relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080, WTIC, the airing of Grievance Friday. We'll take your phone calls as well. So if you want to air a grievance before we get out of here this week, please do it immediately. Okay, so remember what I told you guys on November 3rd? I wanted you to listen to Sunday's program. All right, and I said that one of the reasons why I wanted you to was because I really had a surprise for you in the whole 9 yards. Okay, I can't do the surprise that I wanted to do because I got a little ahead of my skis. So in the next, let's say, 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you what it is that I wanted to do, but I'm going to salvage. But what I want to know is whether or not you're interested. So stand by, okay? Because, like I said, what I originally wanted to do, I can't do because it's just not going to be able to happen. But I want to do something even better that I hope that you guys will be all right. So that I don't have to surprise you. You don't have to wait for weeks to do it. So I'm actually going to announce it just after we get back from the BPS Traffic Center with Ian Stark today. So stand by. If you know a friend who loves this show, make sure that you are tuning in when we get back, and I'll explain the whole thing to you. Plus, we'll take your phone calls in the airing of grievances for the day before we get out of here this weekend. So it's something for you to salivate about in the next coming days and weeks, okay? So stand by. Your surprise, your Christmas gift, getting ahead of myself, is coming real soon, but only after we get to the BPS Traffic Center with Ian Stark.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center, and man, you're not moving in Meriden right now on northbound 91. There is a crash approaching the Wilbur Cross, and things are locked up. So expect very heavy traffic there. You also seen traffic on southbound 91 from 291 and 84, more of a typical situation. But there's also traffic to Middletown and Cromwell both ways. Anywhere between exit 20 for Country Club Road and 22, exit 22 for 9. You're going to see some slow moments as you will on 84. Eastbound from exit 43 by Park Road to the Rams 91, westbound over the Bulkley Bridge back to around Prospect Avenue.
I'll actually ask them, Michael. I have not checked on them for a while.
Trying to merge onto 84 West.
I was going to do tampons, but I thought that was a little good.
Traffic weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It's been a pretty pleasant day, and the first half of the weekend is looking good for us. Tonight, under clear skies, comfortable with the low dropping down to 53. Sunny, breezy, pleasant start to the weekend on our Saturday, the high 74, but a busy west-northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Then Sunday, cooler with occasional rain and drizzle, a damp and raw feeling day, the high only 56. Monday, still a couple of showers in the morning, then a mix of clouds and sun in the afternoon. It'll be milder, but quite breezy, the high up to 64. Northwest winds again, 10 to 20 miles an hour. They're going to stick around both Tuesday and Wednesday, too, and it's going to be cooler.
Both of you are the worst.
Turning out cloudy Tuesday, the high 55. A breezy and cool on Wednesday with a blend of sun and clouds. The high only 53.
We got
Danbury,
Ken and Terry left, right?
Now, New London 63, Bristol 68, and it's.
They got a whole new list now.
Meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding thin and dull hair and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-272-1505. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-272-1505.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-272-1505. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-272-1505 or oxcarcare.com.
Paid for by government.
Here, a recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-888-201-7082, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-888-201-7082. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-888-201-7082 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-888-201-7082.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it. All right. It's almost over, less than an hour, and the weekend is on its way. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend planned. And speaking of planning, I just want to mention this. So the last time anybody ever got to see me or to hang out with me was when we did the holiday store on Christmas over in Avon. And that hotel, by the way, love that place. It is probably one of my favorite places in the world now. My wife is even thinking about just going there to just live. That's how much she loves that place. And she wants to do like that woman who actually couldn't find an apartment, so she just moved into one of those suites at Avon Farms. I might just do that. But anyway, that was the only time that you guys get to see me. And I just started. I was only filling in, and you didn't really get to see me all that much. So I've been here now, I want to say, filling in for Todd Feinberg for the last 3 months. And I got to thinking about it, and I said, you know what? I don't know how much time is guaranteed to me on this network, and I've loved every minute of it. And if this were it, I would be 100% satisfied. This for me would be full circle. I would love every moment that I had. I would miss it. I would cry. I would be crestfallen. But again, I know that nothing is guaranteed. And I would be insane if I didn't say that the people who made this possible was not just the brass here. Steve, Janine, and Joey, and Matt, and of course, Roland, my ace in all of this, Todd Feinberg, of course, what's his name, Tom Shattuck, and of course, even our good friend, who's still a part of this family, Pastor Will, my pastor, Will, I might say. So I want to just say to you folks that, would you like to hang out with Reese on the Radio again? Would you like to? Because I think that we should all get together the week of Election Day. We should have either a celebration or a funeral after Election Day. I think that we should. And I'm trying to set it up now. But if you are interested in hanging out with Reese on the Radio after Election Day, we don't know if it's going to be Thursday or Friday or whether, because Friday might be a little too busy, but it might be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday after Election Day. If you are interested, let me know. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Just go to any one of those that email us, send us a message, and say, hey, you know what? I want to hang out with Reese on the Radio. So I can let the brass know here, and then we can set something up so we can hang out. And, I don't drink, but if you do, that's fine. But, maybe someplace we can have some munchies. We can order some table food or some, what's that thing? Coup d'etat, whatever it is. Whatever it is that you guys are into. No, not a strip club, Michael B. A regular hangout of Reese on the Radio. And like I said, for me, it would be wonderful to hang out with the people who have supported me for so long. And if we know that we have a bunch of people, if we know it's going to be a lot of people, I want to get the right place so that everybody can come in and come hang out for a little bit with Reese on the Radio. Okay? So, with that, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and let me know, or even just let the folks here know. All right, now, back to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Ken is in Terryville. How are you, sir?
Hey, Reese, thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure, sir.
I got a little grievance type thing.
Go for it.
How Chris Murphy thinks we're so stupid. I was paying attention. Well, you'll like this one. I was looking at his commercial the other night, and he talks about he's been walking across the state of Connecticut for years and years, and hears the same thing every year.
Yeah.
If you hear the same thing every year and you don't fix it and you want to get elected, come on. That's like bringing your car to a mechanic and the mechanic bragging, this customer's been bringing their car to me with the same problem for 4 years. Obviously, they're going to go to another mechanic.
He's brilliant. You know what? He's so brilliant, he's stupid. And you're 100. I saw that ad too, and I went, dude, do you not understand that what that means? It means that you're a horrible politician. If they keep coming back with you with the same problem, dude, wake up. You're the problem. It's like, how many times do I have to get divorced before I realize the problem is me? Right?
That's good. Well, that was my grievance.
Thank you. No. And aptly so. Hey, by the way, do you remember this whole story about Donald Trump in Bob Woodward's book was making phone calls to Vladimir Putin and was sending him COVID tests? Well, while everybody was losing it about that, we found out that Chris Murphy was openly bragging about meeting with representatives from Iran in Munich.
Yeah, I heard that.
Did you hear that? Did you notice how the Woodward story went away? Thanks, Chris Murphy. Bang up job, big guy.
Yeah, he reminds me of someone that still lives in their mom's basement.
Totally, exactly. And he's probably getting advice from her, too. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, man. You too. Patty is in Naugatuck. How are you, Patty?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. You do a great job, Reese. Everybody loves you.
Thank
Really,
you.
Everybody does. And you know what? We don't care what color anybody is, to be very honest with you. We just want somebody to run the country who has the leadership abilities and actually just sees us all as Americans.
I know you.
I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
George and Brell, the last hour, they had a great call. George's call was very meaningful, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to talk about the Ukrainians a little bit. You know, I don't know if anybody remembers Joseph Stalin and the Holodomor, what they did to those people. You know, George Friedman from Stratford, he wrote about them at one point in time. And this was 1932, 1933. They killed 7 million Ukrainians. They starved them to death.
Yep.
They took pillows out from underneath their head. They took their shoes off, and they dragged them by their hair outside. If they even put soil in the ground because they were starving, they shot them.
Wow.
So I just want to say, you know, these kind of tyrants, they've existed for a very, very long time. And this is what people do to preserve their power, because they cannot give up on this kind of power. At that time, they wanted the small farms. And the Ukrainian people, according to George Friedman, were the most strongest people mentally in the world. They can take more mental pressure than any other nationality. And he said, because they could never convince them, they starved them all to death.
Isn't it,
So
Patty, I
this
will
is-
say this, and that's a very important point, because I will tell you this, because I know there's some people now who are saying, are you suggesting that that's what our government's like? I'll say this for Patty. It's not so much that we believe that our government is like that. We know that they're not far off. When it becomes close, all they do is they do it piecemeal. They get you comfortable with the idea of tyranny. They get you very comfortable with
Can't
it.
release the power.
Yeah, exactly. They
cannot
constantly
give up on the power.
They constantly make it a tyranny that you're comfortable with until they unleash it, until they get enough people, or they get, and here's my favorite part, you know, we always look at Hitler and say Hitler's responsible for killing millions of people. No. Hitler's responsible for orchestrating the deaths of millions of people.
That's right.
He got other people to do his dirty work. It's like
And
Charles
they
Manson.
Even used children.
Yeah.
They
Even used children,
and
exactly.
Schooled them in school with messages.
That's right.
And made them feel that they were smarter than their parents, and they conditioned them of
That's
that
right.
by giving them little things to give to the parents, so that they could actually control the children and then control the parents.
Exactly. All they
really-
need.
and history is repeating itself.
Exactly. All they need is a willing constituency to act out whatever their means are, and that's all. They don't have to do the carnage themselves. They can get other people who are willing to do it. Thank you, Patty. That is a very, very good lesson to remember. Wayne is in Morris. How are you, Wayne?
Hey, Reese. Hey, my grievance is with the Obama thing that you started with today.
Yeah.
For 8 years, Obama completely ignored the violence in South Chicago. And he can't figure out why he can't get his library built in the city. He's been fighting for 8 years. They won't let him finish this building because they don't want a memorial to him because he showed them no love in 8 years.
Exactly.
And he could have gone to Southwest Chicago and addressed the brothers that are killing each other in the street, not as a president, but as a father figure that they don't have. And he could have made a connection, and he could have helped maybe stop the violence or cut the violence down.
Exactly.
But he never did it.
Never stepped up.
He never stepped up, and he never even talked about it, let alone go there.
Yeah, and no,
It
don't
was like
forget.
it didn't exist for 8 years.
I'll tell you what was even more damaging on Barack Obama's in general. When Barack Obama was president of the United States, Rahm Emanuel, his former chief of staff, ran for mayor of Chicago. The thought leaders and the activist class of Chicago told Barack Obama to not endorse Rahm Emanuel, or we will make you pay. In essence, in the upcoming election, or they would read him the riot act. Barack Obama endorsed him anyway and completely shut out any other of the locals who wanted to run for mayor of the city. In essence, Rahm Emanuel got pushed through because Barack Obama, in essence, assisted. And while that happened, here's where it went crazy. We had the killing of McDonald. I can't remember the kid's first name, but he was the young man who was killed by police because he was walking with a knife. The police officer.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yep.
Laquan McDonald, I think his name was, and I may be getting the first name wrong. But that shooting ended up with Rahm Emanuel, again, Barack Obama's chief of staff. Rahm Emanuel keeping the videotape of that shooting hidden for 400 days. He had to be sued by the media to release that video. Rahm Emanuel kept that video from the public that proved that police officer shot that man down when he was nowhere near him. And that, again, Barack Obama was never held to account. Barack Obama has never apologized for that, nor did Rahm Emanuel for that matter. And that's the reason why nobody should listen to a word Barack Obama has to say, because he's never stood up for anybody in that city. And the people who have to deal with that onslaught, they started calling it Chirac under his tutel and under his reign.
But yet he said if he had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin.
Ain't that right? Obviously, he didn't have a son that looked like McDonald.
No, he didn't. And, it was pick and choose.
Yep.
And every time he chose the wrong side.
Yeah,
so from that incident in Cambridge with the judge breaking into his own house.
Oh, no. It was a professor, but yes, that's Skip Gates. Yeah, Henry Louis Gates breaking into his own house.
That was wrong. He was wrong on that one. And
let me quote.
He just made
Wayne, let me quote Obama before you go. I don't know much about what happened, but it seems like the police acted stupidly. How are you going to say you don't know much about what happened, but the police acted stupidly? The guy said, again, don't even get me started. The guy's a flawed man. I get it, but in my view, he's just scum. That's whatever. People can get mad about that, but I don't care. Thank you, Wayne. Mark is in Windsor before we get out of here. How are you, sir?
Not too badly. Hey, I was offended by Obama's. I listened to some of the excerpts.
Yeah.
And I was totally offended by that. For him to insist that because we're black, we're supposed to vote for Kamala. She didn't choose to mate with us.
Yeah. Hey, how about dealing with black people in California by arresting them for marijuana charges? Oh, and we're going to put your mamas in prison for truancy.
Exactly. Just and why? Just to boost her ratings so that she could run for the next office up.
Yep.
People, it really hurts me for people to see blacks or anyone just jump on her bandwagon just because. And, she's a waste of a vote.
Exactly.
If you look at, if we're hiring someone, we're hiring her.
Yep.
Look at her resume. In California, I wouldn't reelect anyone from California. It's fallen off the map. I mean, it's, the working class there that can afford to get out are getting out.
Yeah.
California's having a mass exodus. And why? Because of the record number of homelessness, the record number of increased crime, the record number of increased illegal aliens, the high taxes, all of that. Listen, Elon Musk, SpaceX left California.
Yeah.
So that right there needs to suggest, no.
Hollywood isn't even
reason.
Hollywood anymore. That's become a wreckage of the past. Hollywood can't do business there. You notice more films. They do the Avengers movies, which pull in buku billions of dollars. They film most of those movies on sound stages in Georgia.
Yeah. And people need to wait. People need to. I don't even want to use the phrase "wake up," but look a little more closely.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but the other thing is listening to Obama's speech, which you pointed out. He and Kamala both. They're not running for America.
No.
Or campaigning for America. They're running against Trump, and that's really sad.
Yeah, their
whole platform.
I've got some audio, Mark. Stand by later on. I've got some audio that Barack Obama. I talked about the audacity to tell black people how they should vote. But wait until you hear part of his speech about the economy when we get back. I got to go to a break soon. But Mark, as always, man, it's a pleasure hearing from you, sir. We'll get into you got it, man. We'll get into that audio, and of course, Mark in Canton. Stay on the line from me, Mark. We'll get to you. I promise. But we got to get into the BPS Traffic Center with Ian Stark.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Still have that ugly crash working in Meriden right now on northbound 91 as you approach the Wilbur Cross. Just the left lane is getting by. You have tow truck and fire trucks in the right lane. Traffic is very slow. And you're also seeing a lot of traffic on 91 in both directions between Country Club Road at exit 20 and exit 22 through Middletown and Cromwell. Now, 84 westbound in Manchester, there's an accident there too. As you head by 291 at exit 59. Just the left lane gets by there. Also, emergency vehicles and fire trucks on the scene. You have delays westbound over the Bulkley Bridge out to around Prospect Avenue at exit 44. And you have eastbound delays from around exit 44 back to 91. Traffic weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic is brought to you by the Heyman Law Firm.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HEYMAN and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Heyman is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HEYMAN.
Mystic, Hamden, Putnam. When you want local news, turn to WTIC News Talk 1080, reporting on the local stories that affect you. From Manchester to Mystic, Hartford to Hamden, and Putnam to Plymouth, one radio station has your local news and breaking news as it happens. WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen on your radio, smart speaker, and on your phone with the free Odyssey app. WTIC weather.
Most of our Friday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy. It'll be quite pleasant. The high of 71 to wrap up the week. Then tonight, under clear skies, cool and comfy with the low down to 53. Beautiful start to the weekend for Saturday. It'll be sunny and pleasant, but quite breezy. The high of 73. The west-northwest wind cranking along at 10 to 20 miles an hour, but definitely the better of the two weekend days as Sunday. Well, Sunday will be notably cooler when damp and raw with occasional rain and drizzle in the high only 56. Now Monday, a couple of showers in the morning, then a mix of clouds and sunshine for the afternoon. The high 61, but still quite breezy with that northwest wind busy at 10 to 20 miles an hour. That wind continues into Tuesday. It'll be cloudy, the high only 55, making for quite a cool feeling day. Wednesday, still breezy and quite cool with a blend of sun and clouds. The high dialed back to 53. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. 2 women were injured in a hit-and-run crash in Waterbury last night. Crash occurred around 8 on Walnut Street. Police say one victim's in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. The other is stable. The driver hit 2 other vehicles before fleeing the scene. Also in Waterbury, arrests have been made in connection with a robbery and shooting from earlier this summer. Police say they responded to William Street on August 17th. The found gunshot victim was treated for non-life-threatening injuries, and now police have charged 2 individuals in connection with that attempted robbery and shooting. 24-year-old Joshua Rodriguez is from Waterbury. 29-year-old Brett Foster of New Haven. Each is a convicted felon. Both are barred from possessing any type of gun as a result, and they are facing robbery, assault, and firearms charges. Permanent memorial for a pair of fallen Bristol police officers today. It was unveiled at headquarters. Tomorrow it'll be 2 years since Lieutenant Dustin DeMonte and Sergeant Alex Hamsey were ambushed and shot to death. Officer Alec Ayuratu was also wounded in that attack. Now, 2 doors from a police cruiser that served as an outdoor makeshift memorial in the days after the officers' deaths is located inside the PD lobby. Police are trying to figure out how a vehicle wound up submerged in Weathersfield Cove. The gray Honda Pilot was located just after 7 Thursday night. 3 occupants in that vehicle were interviewed by officers, one saying there was a mechanical issue with the brakes before it just rolled into the water. No injuries were reported, and that investigation is ongoing. Governor Lamont today announced $28 million to increase broadband access in 88 cities and towns using money from the Connected Communities grant program administered by the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Markets finished the week on an up note. The Dow gained 409 points, the Nasdaq was up 60, and the S&P gained 34 points. National League Division Series tonight, winner-take-all between the Padres and the Dodgers. That series tied at 2 games apiece. The winner moves on to face the Mets in the National League Championship Series. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, here are some statistics about erectile dysfunction. First, half of men over age 50 have it, with even more of us affected as we get into our 60s and beyond. ED can also impact younger men, even in their 30s, which makes it one of the most pervasive conditions in medicine. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and statistics are one thing, but it's the emotional toll on relationships and the impacts on a man's confidence and self-esteem that are the true tragedies of erectile dysfunction. This is why you need to get treated for your ED, but where you get treated is just as important as getting treated, because who you trust for your health care is critical. At Northeast Men's Health, men's sexual health is our focus. Our providers are experts in treating ED, and we offer the complete range of treatment options with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means you can get your sex life back. So call us. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
It may be the last airing of grievances for the week, but you still got time. Get on the phones, 860-522-WTIC. I promised I'd play this, so I don't want to take any time from the phone calls when they do. Because, we're going to get another traffic update with Ian Stark. But here's Barack Obama, again, in that speech talking about Donald Trump. Again, I couldn't believe this because I know his followers are mind-numb robots. I know that they are a part of it's not a cult. I don't want to use the term cult. I just know that they are, they're very enthralled with Barack Obama when he speaks. And so everything he says to them is the gospel, sadly. But he said this during his speech last night in Pittsburgh.
And the reason some people think, wow, I remember that economy when he first came in being pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good because it was my economy. We had 75 straight months of job growth that I handed over to him.
Now, again, I get that people would be raving about that. He had 75 months of job growth, and then Donald Trump is in charge, and then any job growth in his term doesn't happen on Obama's watch. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part that totally destroys this stupid notion that Donald Trump wasn't responsible for anything that happened in the economy. Barack Obama has to explain this simple thing to me. If Donald Trump got your economy and Joe Biden is the president now and he was your vice president when the economy was booming, how did your guy destroy it? Why did he not learn anything from you and your success that was so great you could pass it on to the next administration, even though it was the opposing party? How is it that when Donald Trump taking your economy, right, that he again took from you, right, that you deserve all the credit for. How did your boy, the vice president of the United States who became president, how did he destroy it? Why didn't he just follow your lead? Huh? Why didn't anything that you did, that successful economy, remember that boondoggle you did called the stimulus package that only went to public worker unions? Huh? The one that got you to 10.1 in the unemployment rate. Remember that? After we signed it? Huh? Remember that? Your crowning achievement is a healthcare system that doesn't work? Please. Say it again with me, folks. Negro, please. No one's falling for this. Oh, just so sad. You gave them that economy. Let's get back into the BPS Traffic Center with Ian Stark.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Still seeing heavy delays in Meriden on northbound 91. This report sponsored by Stu Leonard's. Those delays due to a crash as you approach the Wilbur Cross. Just the left lane gets by. You have emergency vehicles on the scene, and traffic is very slow, as it is on westbound 84 through Manchester. You have a crash near exit 59 by 291. Just the left lane gets by there as well due to the presence of emergency activity. This week at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods, direct from the Midwest. Bone-in beef short ribs are only $6.99 per pound. Save $4 with the Stu's app, plus $2 off hot from the oven. Fresh baked chocolate chip cookies, only $4.99 per package. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by True Law. SickVets.com. WTIC weather.
All right, tonight under clear skies, it'll be comfortable with the low down to 53. A nice start to the weekend. Saturday, definitely the better of the two weekend days if you've got something to do outdoors. It is going to be pretty windy, though. A sunny day, pleasant temps, though, the high of 74. A busy west-northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Then, boy, Sunday, what a difference. Flipping the script with a much cooler day, occasional rain and drizzle. It'll be damp and raw, the high only 56. Now, Monday, couple of showers in the morning, a mix of clouds and sun in the afternoon. Quite breezy still. It'll be a little milder, though, the high up to 64. Then, while Tuesday, it turns out cloudy and breezy. Plenty cooler, too. That west wind, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Going to make that high of 55 feel like it's perhaps only in the upper 40s. Wednesday, another breezy and cool day with a blend of sun and clouds. The high only 53 with that wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour still ripping out of the west-northwest throughout the day. Right now, let's see, Mansfield 64. It's 66 in New Haven and 68 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com. Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two have geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt?
1 minute.
With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. The Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy
You feeling
or
any
a
better?
debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know.
You talking to me?
Yeah,
It
you.
ends your debt night.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
Lots of money. Consumers owing
No, I
at
was just
least
wondering if you're
$10,000
feeling,
in
you know,
credit
you're
card
still
debt or
under the
personal
weather.
loans can
No, I'm good, man. I'm good
okay.
to go.
All
I had my 2 days of rest.
Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free relief hotline at 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, it's that song. It's that sound that makes you just weep a little bit. About to get out of here for the weekend. Roland, before we go to the calls, what do you got going on this weekend? You got anything? Nothing? Nada?
LSU.
Uh-oh.
LSU.
How are they doing? What's their record
LSU.
looking like now?
Well, 4-1, ranked 13th in the country.
Not bad. Not bad. You look good.
Yeah, we started a little rough. The one game I went to in Vegas, that's the first game of the season. That's the one we lost, but it's been undefeated since then, and we play number 9 tomorrow. So that's gonna be a really good game.
Oh, that's it. That is gonna be a good game. It's gonna be prime time, I presume, right?
Prime time, 8:00. LSU, Ole Miss,
Ooh.
rivalry game.
Yeah, that's a big game. That's a big game. Okay, I might even check that out. I'm not even into college football unless it's a good game, like a good rivalry game, like later in the season. I always love that. I might check out that game, no doubt. Anyway, for me, I will be working and I'll be training. And
here we go.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, look, I'm sorry. I will be working, and then I'll be recording the Sunday show. I'll be doing what I always do. There will be no relaxing. There's no rest for the wicked, my friend. There's no rest for the wicked.
Mr. 80 hours right here.
That's right, baby. That's right. That's right. I'm trying to make, what's the line that I use? I was like $1 a day, 50 cents after taxes. That's what I'm trying to do. That's the way I'm trying to make it. Let's get back to the phones before we get out of here on this airing of Grievance Friday. Mark is in Canton. Thanks for holding, Mark. How are you?
Hey, Reese's. I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, my grievance is about the misinformation or lack of information that's out there.
I like that.
Especially with FEMA.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend everybody go to YouTube and type in the Sean Ryan Show.
Okay.
I just saw a great interview he had with 2 Special Forces guys that are up there in Appalachia, commandeering helicopters, flying into areas, pulling people out of rubble and saving people's lives. And FEMA is nowhere to be found.
Because they can't get up there. They can't even get up there.
They're doing it all on their own. Private aircraft, people paying for their own fuel to rescue their own people.
That's incredible. You know what? Again, that's incredible. But again, perfect example of that is FEMA is not equipped to even handle that terrain. That's the part that everyone's failing to recognize. Like FEMA is on the ground. Right, exactly. Just because FEMA's on the ground doesn't mean that they know what they're doing. They're leaving this idea in people's head that says, but FEMA's there. It's like, but okay, so what? They're there, right? So
handed out gift cards and giving people hotel rooms.
Yeah, that's not exactly being there and aiding in the rescue or the recovery. Because people who know the area and know the terrain, even if they don't know the area, they understand the terrain and they understand the risks. Let those people do the work that you can't do. Take a step back. This isn't about you or your silly reputation.
Taking over aircraft and fields, and they're doing it on their own, and they're saying, you know, screw you, FEMA. We got this.
Yeah.
We don't need you.
I love the what.
Everybody check out the Sean Ryan Show on YouTube.
You got it, sir. Thank you. I appreciate
Great
the plug.
show.
Thank you, sir. All right. Dave is next in Brantford. How are you, Dave?
Reese, how are you?
I'm all right, sir.
I don't like the sound of your tone tonight. It sounds like we may not pass this way again. So I'd like to thank you for the excellent service you provided just in case. You have done more for race relations than 100 Jesse Jacksons. You are terrific.
Thank you, sir.
Let me say this about, you had that Barack Obama quote.
Yeah.
One of the ones that sticks in my mind was early in his presidency when he was talking to the rich people and said, you didn't do that. You
Yes.
didn't do that.
Yes.
It was the teachers and the people that built the roads and the people that policed. That's who made you rich. You didn't make you rich. I always hated that.
Isn't it funny? Because he says
that.
that in the speech. He talks about Donald Trump. He's saying that the economy wasn't his. You didn't do that. I'm like, well, that's interesting.
You didn't do that. And my grievance is the incredible how quickly since Biden, Columbus Day has just ceased to exist. The traffic guy doesn't talk about the start of the busy 3-day weekend or the 3-day holiday.
You know what?
You and Roland didn't mention. What are you doing for the weekend?
Oh,
it's the holiday.
I got to work.
It's Columbus Day.
I know.
What happened to the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria? Stuff we all learned in school. And those progressives, they did what they started out to do. They squeezed Columbus right off the edge of their flat earth.
Oh, you know what? I'm taking that grievance. And I am absolutely now I got to make up for it. I will definitely do that. I owe it to you, Dave. I owe it to you. I'm going to make it up to you.
Thanks for letting me on.
You got it. You got it, sir. Hey, Craig's in the car. How are you, Craig?
Hey, you know what Helene's teaching us, like every other hurricane?
What's that?
When a bleep hits the fan, find a redneck.
I love that guy who says that he will take a redneck with a chainsaw in a Ford F-150 before he takes 100 guys with a PhD. It's funny how we're learning
every
that.
Day. The only thing.
No, I was going to say real quick, Craig. Hold on, I'm sorry. I was just going to say it's really interesting that we are learning more and more that academics cannot deal with the real world.
Well, there's businesses like that too. But,
yeah.
You know, all FEMA should be doing is funding these people, neighbors, you know, relatives that are trying to find and help other people. Just give us the money. We'll get it done.
Exactly.
And we'll do it cheaper and faster than you can.
Exactly.
Here's my grievance, buddy. When you negotiate your big contract with WTIC, and this is a non-starter, there's no more traffic and weather every 8 minutes. It's not every eight. On the
People need to get home.
It's every 10 minutes, and it takes 6 minutes to do it, which leaves 4 minutes left over for guys like me. Everybody has GPS in their car, and the weather doesn't change every 10 minutes.
Okay. I will definitely take that into advisement. Absolutely.
My God. All right, every half hour, that's fine. Tell me there's a traffic jam somewhere. I already know that. I have it on my ways. I don't need you telling me that.
Okay,
Good Lord.
just so you say, I do not. The views expressed by Craig in the car are not necessarily those of Reese on the Radio. Thank you, Craig. God love you, man. God love you.
Weekend.
You got it, sir. You too. Let's go to Steve in Waterbury. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing good, Reese. How you doing, my friend?
I'm all right. What you got?
Good. I got three things. One I'm going to be saying in the weeks to come, but it has to do with my body, my choice.
Okay.
I'm going to start off by saying, well, how come kids have to get vaccinated to go to school? But I got a whole bunch to follow that up in the coming weeks. But I did call about 3 holidays that are coming up on Monday.
Okay.
And this is my grief. We got Columbus Day. We got Thanksgiving in Canada.
Uh-huh.
But now we also have Indigenous Peoples Day, which you're kind of close to home with your wife there, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Now, I think it's great that, we do, view other people and, honor them. But why did they pick Columbus Day out of all the days they could have had when the white man came over and brought disease and war and things? It's kind of like us celebrating Pearl Harbor, if you ask me.
Listen, it would be, and it's funny that you say that, because getting rid of Columbus Day was, in essence, was a testament to what people are willing to accept. It's like, I'm going to go after Columbus Day, and guess what? If they give us that, what won't they give us? Right? So soon, what's the, like Juneteenth, right? They said it's supposed to be Black People's Independence Day. And I love that line that this blogger says, well, look, if Juneteenth is going to be your Independence Day, I don't want to see you people barbecuing on July 4th. Knock it off. You got your Juneteenth. So when is it going to come to the point where all of a sudden they start commandeering every date that they want?
So three more things really quick.
Go ahead.
You're telling me they want to take barbecue away from your people?
I don't want them. Look, if we could take stuff away, there should be a give and take. If you want to take, if you want to have Juneteenth, I don't want to see you barbecuing on the 4th of July. When 4th of July comes down, and I say, hey, Lakeem, what are you doing on the 4th of July? He goes, I'm going to work. I was like, oh, okay, that's good. I don't want to see you barbecuing out there.
Well, hey, if I could get a day off, I'm all for Juneteenth. But that happens to be Garfield Cat's birthday, the comic strip. But I did want to touch base on when you're talking about school and the real world.
Uh-huh.
Melvin Thornton, I thought
yes,
very well.
I love, people who reference that now because of me, I love it. Because, again, just play that clip, and that will let you understand academia versus the real world. It captures it. And I know it was just done as sort of a flippant thing. I don't know who wrote that scene in the movie. I'm sure it was Rodney Dangerfield, but it captures exactly the problem with academia. They don't know the real world.
The other one I liked when he hired the author of the book, and his girlfriend, who was also his teacher, says
he hired. Didn't he hire Vonnegut?
Yes.
Yes.
That was yes.
And he ended up firing him for the book report on his own book.
And stopping payment on the check.
Exactly. I love it. Thank you, Steve. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Reese.
You got it, man. Our last but not least, Larry is in Bridgeport. How are you, Larry?
Good. How are you, Reese?
I'm great, sir. What do you got for me?
I just had a couple of things. First off, former President Obama.
Yeah.
I agree with your observation on him. You've been spot on all show.
Yes.
That was one thing. Number two, if I can, CBS having the interview with Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yes.
They edited it 3 times.
Yes.
To me, if that isn't propping up a candidate
or election interference.
Correct. And the third and final thing is the left and the Democrats talk about violence on the right. The only presidential candidate that's had 2 attempts on his life is former President Trump. So to me, the violence is on the left, not on the right that I see because of the attempts on his life.
Let's talk about violence on the left. Have you heard of this? Have you heard this audio?
Not at all.
Larry, hold on. Listen to this.
Oh, guys are smarter than girls. You got some serious problems. That's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works.
That is a lecturer from the University of Kansas, okay, who said that, again, talk about violence against them. But guess what? We got the best gift from that audio, Larry. Do you want to know why?
Yep.
Because when it was revealed who that lecturer was at the University of Kansas, we found out that his full name, I kid you not, is Philip Lowcock. That's his real name.
I believe it.
I
believe it.
As soon as I heard it, I went, there's no way. There's no way.
That is funny. Reese, just one final thing. I think people out there have to do their own research on news. Don't buy the mainstream media. Do your own research. Don't be lazy. That's all I'm going to say.
And you're 100% right. And that's great. Great that you bring it back to my conversation with Reggie yesterday. That's exactly the point, because he mentioned that why isn't that news out there? And I said, because you're waiting for the news to get to you instead of you getting to the news. That is such a good point.
Absolutely. You're not going to get it on CNN, that's for sure.
That's right. You can't wait.
I want to thank you, Reese.
My pleasure,
as a
sir.
host. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I appreciate all of you.
And have a good weekend.
Thank you, man. You have a wonderful weekend. I want to thank you all for a wonderful week. And I'm not going to lie. Every week is better than the week before. And I love people send me text messages and messages after the show. I love you guys for doing it. It always makes me feel good. I used to have a big ego when people write stuff about me, but I'll be honest with you, you guys humble me every day with the nice things that you say. I love this media more than I ever did. Every week, I can't tell you I know I'm a blubbering fool when I say it, but I appreciate you, especially all of your well wishes. But I am going to make it up to you. So, again, Reese on the Radio, we're going to hang out after the election. We'll work on exactly where, but if you'd like to, let me know that you would. Go to reasonthenradio.com and tell me that you're interested in coming to hang out with me. The more people that I know want to hang out, I'll be able to tell the folks here and see if we could get someplace where I can get enough people to come hang out. And we'll just sit around and we'll talk and we'll joke, and I'll tell you some great stories behind the scenes and stories about me and where I come from and what I've gone through and where I've been and people I've seen. Maybe stories about the ex-wives, things like that. And all that other good stuff. But yeah, we'll get into all of that. All right. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Please remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. By the way, that T-shirt's already here. Plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good weekend. Make sure you check out the Sunday show right here on WTIC at 6 p.m. And you guys have a wonderful weekend. And now let's get to Ian Stark, filling in for Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night.
I'm Ian Stark from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. It is still a tough trip in Manchester right now.
All right, good sir.
Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to get you the promo real quick as soon as I sign off.
All right.
All right, buddy.
All right. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, man. You too.
You'll see more delays coming up over the Bulkley Bridges and westbound over the river. And these delays stay consistent, stop and go, all the way out to around